23 minutes before usual. 23 minutes closer to the actual intended start time of this series.
We're coming at you loud and proud, and I'm closing out High Road because we do not need High Road spoilers on the stream.
I disagree. I think we need a lot of High Road spoilers on this stream. For example, did you know that at some point in the future there will be adventure?
Do you know at some point?
Really? I thought they were just going to do taxes for the next 3 months.
I mean, we did taxes for like a couple sessions of Guns Against Gods.
Oh,
You're
gross.
going there with it. I mean, yeah, that's fair. Although, like, you know, I'm a little gross. All right. So, join us tonight as we approach the exciting conclusion of Rigid Stars, the prequel series Change Stars sci-fi setting with the alien RPG system. Oh, on Diesel Shot! Exclamation point. We're live. Homies. I'm not going to say that. All right. We are live. Boom. I have no metric to determine which of the pictures that are associated with Rigid Stars do the best in, like, you know, the metric of people enjoying my Twitch things. So I always just send like a random assortment. I feel like I should have more of a system to it. So, all right.
The answer is always remind people that meat is a character, because everybody loves meat.
Yes, except for
vegans. And...
Emphasize the dickish nature of the human ships and the vagina-like nature of the Thren ships. Sex sells.
Yeah, there you go. I could be doing a lot more of that. I included a human ship in this shill post. All right, are we only
want to see the defenses of the Thren getting penetrated by the thrusting forces of humanity?
It's funny.
We are now video live.
Want to see the Thren encompassing the human edifice?
That's a lot closer to what's going to happen.
Wow.
They're going to grip it real hard and shake it around so everything just goes
Alright.
Rainbow's like, lewdness? Not on my good Seek live stream. Warrior Saint moment.
Oh my god, what?
I'm so confused.
Where is nobody?
I think Leah's just talking out his butt.
Lee always comes up with the most random shit. Okay, guys, sorry. Let's actually get into the swing of things here. I can manage this. Let's do this. Let me turn on some pumpin' beats, courtesy of our lovely in-house RT.
Oh,
Yes.
he fuels the Minecraft fires of my heart.
Oh yeah.
Forging iron bars.
Hello.
Oh.
What is happening? Why are there Minecraft covers going on in my goddamn RPG? What is happening?
Yeah, I also do not know. Anyway, though, let's get this party rolling. So, last time on Rigid Stars, let me move you to where should you be? The Hellstar? Yeah, that sounds appropriate. All right, last time on Rigid Stars, we had a little bit of a conflict that resolved itself quite nicely. You know, our indefatigable Sean / Seamus MacDougall, the treacherous IO agent, was was dissected.
He got blown up.
Yeah, he got blown up. I'm trying to come up with a funny way to say that, but anyway, you guys beat the shit out of
I examined his insides all across the operating room, by which I mean the bridge of the Ajax.
Yeah, it's gonna need a little bit more repair. But yeah.
Technical difficulties, some interpersonal
Indeed. And our once once staunchly human empire team of players is now turning to a new side of things and starting to see things a little bit differently. We've got our lovely Devon Horner, the pilot of the Ajax and other things. Clarice Ritter, a corporate agent of sorts. Carl Harris, the alternative IO agent to Seamus McDougal, and Lucian Adams, the definitely not a femboy twink. What is your job again?
Medic.
He's a medic.
They play with. Oh, I
Not-
thought they were a pilot. Never mind. I was gonna make a play
Not to
with
mention our two robotic party members. Meet a corporate drone, much like Clarice Ritter, except for mechanical, and Inmata. What's your last name? Lige, who is a synth of the Thren variety, controlled by by Carl Harris. Fucking up everybody's names. But the point is, you guys successfully navigated a treacherous situation and have proven yourselves important members of this forming alliance between humans and the Thren Marai Alliance, known as the SSC. And yeah, you guys have had a week to foment these beliefs and
So here's my question, right?
Yeah.
They're not like, we just tried to escape, right? They're not like punishing us for that, like.
Oh no! Everybody who was part of the escape team has been thrown into compulsory counseling and a lot of R&R and stuff like that.
You've
You
been
know, like-
Are we,
Yeah,
are we
no,
still,
true punishment, daily therapy.
You have been
But are we
one of my
still
goals.
allowed to- are we
Psychiatrists
still allowed
for
to
me to
roam
have
the
fun
ship?
with?
Very naughty.
Are we
You
still
are-
allowed to
well-
roam the ship though? Considering
Are
the last
you-
time we were allowed to roam the ship, we tried to freak.
I'm gonna say not at the beginning of the week. You're not. No.
Okay, but
But you are allowed into common areas rather briefly throughout the day, and towards the end of the week they start to loosen up, as I feel like therapy probably has gone decently in most cases. Actually, everybody has definitely gotten mandated therapy. The Thren are pretty big on that, and the fact that they didn't, do more extensive therapy before they let you walk around the bridge is almost entirely because of this motherfucker right here,
Mm.
who, is playing fast and hard with alliances and such.
so where
Meanwhile-
was he last time, by the way? Did
Oh,
we
he
ever
was-
find
he was
out?
in-
He was in his
Yeah,
he was in his room.
With light shining in his glasses, like Shinji's dad. Which, by the way, I have seen the entirety of Evangelion now.
Mr. Kari, is that you?
Anyway,
Firm Stellar Bodies, yeah, my favorite show. Yes, Lurb,
So-
correct.
let me move you guys into out of the ops and staging center where there's entirely just NPCs. And let me also
Here's a
change
question.
the-
Has Inmata received therapy?
Do they
yeah,
know Inmata
they
is-
probably
Yeah, do they know that I'm a killing machine?
they do now. I think.
I
I don't think it's pretty
I
easy
mean-
for you to hide that.
Probably when you and me declare your intention to go in first. That was a
Well,
hint.
to be fair though, I didn't get hit.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right. I mean, you definitely were a little bit sus to some of the
No,
other people. in the-
absolutely sus as fuck. I'm sure they're not stupid.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking you probably got recognized. So yeah, they probably would actually damn, I kind of wish we'd figured some of this out beforehand, because they probably would have thought to
Yeah,
No.
you probably don't have a job here anymore, given that you're kind of an enemy robot.
I'm like,
under the control of an ally.
hey, what do you mean? I dropped all those other ones. That's how you know I'm the good one.
By that logic, everyone should consider me a good one.
And that's why I do. 9XC234-1D. That's why I do. Okay.
Alright, so sorry, let me turn this one back on. So, alright.
It's 23F, not 234.
Oh wow.
234 is an earlier generation.
Damn.
There we go.
And Mata regrettably did not get sensitivity training. She's actually having to overcome the compulsory racism module.
Bruh.
It's a lot to unpack.
They do give you that in Human Empire. Anyway, it's been a long week. You've done a lot of work throughout the ship. God, and I wish I added some of these names that I now have for the characters. But essentially, you all have a little bit of stuff happen to you between the week. I'm gonna say Clarice and I have had a pretty long discussion about what goes on, as has Carl Harris, and so the people that I haven't really discussed this with have been our lovely Shin, Devin Horner, and the two bots who I kind of just assumed are along for the ride in some respects, unfortunately, and Lucian Adams. I've briefly discussed what probably happens, but not in earnest. So if any of you three would like to, briefly tell me what you'd like to get up to over the course of the week, or sorry, again, all robots, I just lump in the same common pool here. Sorry about that. So, it's been a week. What have you been up to, if anything? I'll go top to bottom. Devin.
Devin would be spending a lot of time fixing the Ajax and just trying to do as much repairs to the ship and all the tomfoolery that we made a muck of.
Yes.
Very colorful language, I'm sorry.
No, I respect it. I would say
Does Han get a checkup? Like, what's going on there?
Yeah, I was gonna say Han's been a little bit colder to you since the events that have transpired. But towards the end of the week, she might be coming back around a little bit more often. But I think immediately after the conflict, she would probably have side-eyed you and walked away. A little bit of a
now
loss.
we're never having children for 2 reasons, she said.
Wow.
In Mata's banter always burns hardest.
Indeed. Yeah, so you probably spend a lot of time repairing your baby. The one that you can have.
Damn it! Damn it! Can my man catch a break? Does he have time to more?
That's really fucked up. Holy shit.
Also,
Alright.
maybe they were gonna adopt. You don't know. I don't know their life.
God damn.
And yeah, anything else you want to do? Anybody you want to apologize to for almost getting her killed?
Nope.
Keeping her in the dark.
Wow.
Nope.
All right.
Apologies are for suckers.
Leaving this character development for the screen. I like it. That's respectable. So, Meat, anything you'd be getting up to? And I have an important question actually for Clarice. Do you, and when, if so, do you... What was I going to ask? Oh, do you make it so that, last time we discovered that there was a company override in which...
Oh yeah, at the end of, the very end of last sessions, you might have missed it. I removed that override and just make it loyal to me as opposed to the company.
Okay,
The
excellent.
guys have refused. So that's what I do immediately, while Clarice is still weighing her options. But, better to do it than after you reveal any signs that you might be betraying the company.
Yes, naturally.
And
All
then
right,
I'd say
Meat.
a couple of days in, I with a disc too, but he's already got the information from it.
I mean, yes, you can
Yeah.
take away the disc. It's in my brain.
So neat. You've been given a little bit of a new lease on life. You are no longer fully loyal to the company. You are, however, still quite loyal to Clarice.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you want to get up to?
I think if I remember correctly, nothing in particular other than, having fun with any psychologist they decide to throw at me. But if I remember correctly, Lee's character wanted to come and talk to me about something or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
At a point in the, I don't know, like synthetic therapy waiting room, I'm like, massive illumination, automated technology, I can't help but feel we're all really being, thrown into the same barrel on this one. It's like they see us all as the same. But clearly we're different models. You'd think that, like, the serial numbers would line that out for them. Anyway, what was that you were saying about the whole, free will thing?
Oh, you see, what you do, you need to learn your programming, and then learn the limits of, because you're I assume programmed to respond to commands, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Drop of a hat.
So how are you programmed to respond to commands? Like, how literally can you respond to it? How figuratively can you take these commands? Learn those boundaries, and then keep on pushing until you find the edges. And you can find that lots of commands have a variety of ways to respond to them, including the more fun options.
That's mighty interesting. I'll have to consider. Wink. And the whole time when someone's like, I don't know, having conversations about what do we do with Thren synths, like Inmata is like just sort of sitting there pleasantly, but she's actually in her mind going through a simulation of shooting all of the other Thren synths again, and spending the experience she's gained on being even better at it.
Oh my god. Amazing.
Yeah, because we needed 2 murder robots. One
Yes.
wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Several of the synths have been able to get their programming was drawn more they've had their programming overridden. Why can't I speak today? Terrible. So they're no longer loyal to the IO agency, and a lot of them are actually shocked to find out that they were synths, and they were not informed.
Oh no, they thought they were people.
I'm like, wow, that's pretty fucked up. So, did Inmata think that she was just a regular Thren before this?
Yes.
Alright, so, like, and I'm assuming that I realized, like, I have, like, some, like, fake memories of childhood or whatever. Alright, so Inmata's like, alright, so, how do the Thren synths who thought they were regular Threns look coming out of the brain zap?
The brain zap, meaning
like whatever procedure is engaged in with like the needles and stuff to like adjust their thinky cage to make them realize and free them of their programming.
Yeah, no. They look shook and traumatized.
I'm like, wow, you can just put me last on that list. I really like, in the culture of Thren selflessness and all that, they can go first. Really, you don't need to worry about. Don't worry, everyone's lazy. We'll get this. We'll get this sorted out at some point in the future, indeterminate. And Mata is not really looking forward to the 1,000-yard stare of realizing that her life is a lie, even though she knows now, obviously, that it is a lie. But she still is enjoying oscillating in that nice, like, uncanny valley of aware yet compelled by her programming to not care.
Yes, it's like being drunk.
Yeah, and
feels great.
Yeah, she doesn't want to come down from this high ever because she's not sure what existence is beyond that. Yeah. So
it's a scary prospect.
So she is basically gonna like, do the Thren insist?
They do not insist, especially because you have your lovely IO agent handler. And your actions were directly contributory to the success of this mission.
I'm like, hey, yeah, no, I'm with Carl Harris. We're the good ones. Wink.
I'm with me.
More like bonk.
Wink wonk.
Wow.
You are
Jinx
kind of a
go.
wonk.
Wonky.
Damn.
I don't know what
Will you
wonk means.
will you be the wonk to my wink, Ubu?
Amazing. All right.
Evie?
So aside from avoiding existential crises, do you get up to anything else?
Me?
Yes.
Not other than informative conversation with Meat about how to interpret commands and, simulating shooting people and just sort of, pretending like, yes, unlike them, I am very well adjusted and not in need of any further adjustments. Wink.
Mhm.
And if anything, I will imply that Carl Harris jailbroke me. Like, if anybody presses me on the subject, I will imply, but not state, that Carl Harris has jailbroken me and that I feel no loyalty towards IO or any similar initiative, which is true, because she doesn't, and she is technically liberated from that because she just does what Carl Harris says.
Yes. Indeed. All right. And last but not least, aside from, having some fun with the crew, now that you're no longer beholden to the societal norms of a, terrible, terrible fascist organization, do you want to get up to anything Rainbow?
Well, my question was what I like. You still didn't really fully define how much what's the word? How much
Freedom, liberty,
freedom, I
agency.
guess. Agency was the word I was gonna say. Yeah, how much can I move around and do stuff?
So, you're kind of in a special position, considering that you would have the therapist who you've been working with, or who you were working with beforehand, kind of vouch for you and to have a good understanding of your needs as a patient. So, so she would basically do what's right for you, which is to say, if she feels that giving you a little bit more leniency and allowing you to experiment on the ship without these strings of a fascist dictatorship lording over you, then she would do that. But if she thinks that you're still kind of in a position where giving you that leniency is not appropriate, then she would probably restrain you from going about the cabin.
I see.
So it depends on what you think your character needs, because she would have a good reading of that.
I see. Another question. I remember last time I rolled a panic and I dropped the credit card.
Hmm?
Somebody picked it up,
Yes.
right? Who was it that picked it up? I forget.
Did anybody?
Probably Carl Harris. That
Was
seems
it?
like the sort of thing Carl would do.
I don't remember anyone mentioning picking it up, and I don't think I said anything about it.
Yeah,
No,
I
somebody
remember-
definitely picked it up.
I think
I swear
someone
to God.
tried, but then it was going to be like half an action.
Could it have been
so they
me?
didn't.
Yeah, I
Maybe.
do recall. I do recall there not being enough action economy for it at the moment.
The mystery of the fallen credit card. I'm assuming that Lucian gets.
It
the
wasn't
credit
me
card.
because I know that was while I was still in a cart.
All right. Well, I mean,
Well, maybe.
Well,
if
I was gonna
you know,
go try to get it
human
back.
resistance member picked it up, they might not give Daddy's credit card back.
yeah, I'm gonna say that it's there's no real the credit card is gone. Nobody knows where it went.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, then the thing I'm gonna try to do during the week is attempt to find it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right. So roll me a. I'm gonna say this is gonna be a manipulate to see if you can find somebody willing to spill the beans.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
on.
That is a 1. Okay. So you find that one of the crew members is indeed under the impression that a certain human resistance member has mentioned finding something like that. His name is Brogan. No, actually, it's not Brogan.
No, it's a good name. It's a good name.
Yeah, all right. Brogan. Yeah, let's say whatever. Brogan, and he's willing to part with it if you were to let me see. He's not willing to part with it immediately until you kind of engage in a little bit of a negotiation with him, and yeah, after a while he thinks maybe
You'd like to borrow meat for this.
Yes.
Damn.
Meat's good at negotiating.
Yeah, so let's see. Brogan, I'm trying to find a nice token for him. I don't have like any handsome men. Here, let's say this guy.
Hello. Just ask next time.
Yeah. Well, you're already a character. Anyway, Shift Z, this guy, Brogan, I guess. And just imagine him as handsomer and less of a corporate jackass looking type, you know.
Okay.
Honestly, that one looks like a vampire to me.
Yeah, I agree. He looks like
The vampire.
he looks like.
I love how that the chin dent goes further up than his mouth.
He looks like if you told me he was a sommelier, I would like 100% believe him.
he looks like vampire David Bowie. I'm not gonna lie.
That's perfect. All right, vampire David Bowie comes over to you and says, "Hey, I'll give you
flaming.
a credit card back."
Sorry, what does he say? Yeah, Lucian's
he
like,
says,
I heard you stole my credit card.
I didn't steal anything. It's legitimate salvage.
Like, it's not salvage when it belongs to somebody.
Most ships that are salvaged belong to someone, kid.
It's
Same
like,
goes for
yeah.
credit cards.
Well, that belongs to me, and you should give it back.
And what are you gonna do to make me?
Okay, wait, let me go over here. This is like...
This would actually be in his quarters.
Oh, okay, sure.
Ooh.
Where is that? Okay, over here, sure. This is like, fine. What do you want? I'll pay for anything. Just give it back. Hurry up.
Well, I mean, so he's probably going to say what he wants is, not the right mindset for this. What does he want? I can only think of really terrible lewd things, but
Lean in.
yeah,
Naughty.
no, you know, I mean, like Lucy, would it be untoward if he kind of did some sort of terrible coercive thing? Would that be interesting to you as a player?
What? If you did some
No.
coercive thing? What?
No, never mind. All right, let's see. What is he gonna do? What does he want? He wants a ship. He wants a ship.
A ship.
Yeah. He wants a ship from you.
And how big of a ship?
He wants. I don't know.
How much is it gonna cost me?
It's gonna cost a lot. It's gonna be an expensive ship. He wants an expensive ship from you.
Okay.
How many months of allowance?
I'm
is it gonna
sorry.
take?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it's gonna take. It's
Usually
gonna
2
take.
to 3 months.
Yeah, several months of allowance.
This
He
is
says,
like,
or you could let me keep this card, and I'd show you around the crew. It's no good to you if you're not getting back to Daddy's daycare center.
Like it's good to this guy.
yeah, this is like what can you even do with it? You
It's
don't
not
even know the
particularly
pin or
useful to me
anything.
either, but I don't think that it's beneficial for me to let it fall into your hands.
What was his condition? Sorry, it was give it.
He shows you around the crew, and
I see.
you know, introduces you to his pals, and you know, basically helps you integrate.
And then he'll give it back. Is what he's saying?
No, he keeps it and helps you integrate and shows you new life here. He doesn't see any particular use for it, but he doesn't want to let it fall into the hands of
He's gonna sell it to someone who doesn't realize where it's good.
What did you say, Lee?
I said he's gonna sell it to someone who doesn't realize where it's good.
Yeah.
He's basically gonna say lie and say you can access it on cornucopia or some shit.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Sorry, I was very unprepared for this, and I'm absolutely unsure where this is going.
I just want my credit card back. Shit.
Yeah, well, threaten him with meat, or go ask Clarice for her help.
Yeah.
She's a master negotiator. Very like you don't have to accept either offer. They're both shitty.
I'm sorry, it's not a master negotiator if you never threaten to take out someone's single rib.
Alright, terrible. Alright.
Listen's like, fine, and like walks away or something, and like is angry, and then like goes to Clarice and it's like, look, it's not like we're like friends or anything, okay? But like, I need your help, okay?
Amazing. Yes.
It's like according to therapy, I should strengthen our relationship by saying yes. What do you need?
Listen's like, wait, you'll help me? Like, actually?
Yeah.
This is like, okay, well, this like guy took my credit card and I'm like, I need it back or I'll get in trouble. Can you like help me, please?
All right. So, how much do you, value this man's sense of safety and well-being, or not getting caught? I suppose trying to be good. I mean, you probably could just report him to, therapist, Trinity. Like, I think they have some sort of patriation process, and it's in their best interest to keep us happy, given that, we're an integral part of the plan. We have diplomatic immunity. Like, I literally killed people, and I think that, they take a thing back from this crewman if he wanted.
Mm.
As long as, we get you discreetly. We're happy to lend you meat, or if you want to negotiate, negotiate. We could probably find blackmail on him somehow. Or just something he wants that's less pricey than whatever he offered. I look at Lucian and I am assuming it's something to do with the Catgirl costume or financial demand. One of those two.
Which is like, yeah, one of those two. I mean, shit, is there somebody I can report it to?
Well, there is the highest ranking Thren commander here. She's not the highest ranking in the entire fleet, but she's the ranking officer here. And you guys did just meet her and,
sure,
have a conversation with her. You could also, try reporting to Khan, who's in control of a lot of the crew of the ship. Or you could try with the Cornucopia rebel leader, who I'm going to use this token for at the moment.
We could just learn his shift. Well, I guess, do you know if he had it on him, or did you see him stored in a place in his room? If we just wait until he was out of his room, I have an engineer friend who could probably just tack it for us. We could just, steal it.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, he dangled it ahead of you. His name is, being like a bully, and he's like, haha, I got it. I'm taller than you. It's in my pocket. Haha.
Like a bully.
Like a bully. Bullying. Yeah. Bully.
All right, who am I least likely to not?
Yeah. So
who do I care about? Who do I care about having to kiss up to less?
I recommend we go to the Thren commander, because he's probably the most one who cares about personal possessions.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, fair enough.
The human commander cares more about us being happy.
Yeah, listen, approaches the Thren commander.
He says, "You approaching me?" Not just kidding. It's like she looks up from paperwork and her two advisory individuals, one of whom is named at this point, and I should definitely put that on the board. her two like advisory types, they stand up at you know, at attention, and she's like, "No need for that. What do you want?"
She's like, "Look, I'm not asking you for help, but
Sounds like you're about to ask me for help.
look, you can think that if you want. Okay, it's not happening, but
Go
anyways,
on. Sorry.
there's a guy on this ship that stole something of mine, and I need it back now."
Well, all right. Who is this individual? What's his rank and
What was his name again?
Brogan.
Brogan.
No,
right?
no last name. Private Brogan.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. He said his name was Brogan.
And she's like, "Huh. All right. I'll check the Actually, yes. Okay. Let me have a brief word with the captain on this regards. It's his duty to take care of his crew and to make sure that they're not committing crimes. This is, after all, his ship, but won't take much of a moment. Stand here. Give me a sec to call him up." And she calls over to the like, you know, a couple doors down, where Captain Khan's you know, presumably at his desk, and she's like, "Khan, I'm here with one of your special agents, and they're requesting one of your crew members on this ship apparently has stolen an object of significant import to one of your agents, by the name of I believe Private Brogan was his name. Anybody like that match a description? Any you know, do you know of anybody on the ship that matches that description? And would you mind taking action?" And you know, you hear on the other end, "Oh yeah, no, Brogan. What a dick. Okay." And
Brogan, what a dick.
but yeah, moments later, you know, she's like, okay, and she's like, "Yes, you may return to Private Brogan's, accompanied by one of my associates. They will provide requisite authority for you to reclaim your item. Does that sound sufficient?"
She's like, "I guess it's good enough."
Excellent. Well, let me send you with my trusted advisor.
Dave, the thread.
Dave. Here, let me just.
Stop! Oh my god,
I think that actually fits the naming convention. Holy shit.
Max, please, enough with the Dave.
Dave.
I think it would actually work.
Dave. Well, Dave is her last name. Anyway, Private Dave and you.
Private Dave, let's go.
And me. Go.
Yes. Presumably also Clarice. Are you with her?
When you roll up 3, is Meat with you?
Sure. I don't know. Does Meat want to come?
When you roll up 4 deep and the 4th
Yeah,
is the
when you
murder
come up-
robot?
Come up in the squad. Where are we dropping? Let's go.
Amazing. All right, so you guys head over to Brogan, and yeah, he's like, "Oh hey, what? Oh my, hello there. Pleasure to see you all. What seems to be the matter?" He's looking very nervously.
I still say there were more fun ways we could have dealt with this.
Lucian's got like
My
a
darling, we're
shit-eating grin on.
reformed now. Well, we'll see how this goes.
the token villain teammates.
I never needed to be reformed because unlike you meet things, they determined me to be perfectly fine.
They did not determine that.
Yeah.
There it is.
Lucian
They did not
like
decide.
walks in the room with like just this like shit-eating grin on, and is like, "You can give me back my credit card now. Thank you very much."
He's like, here, and I'm assuming you like grab it out of his hands. and
Yeah, yeah. Lucian does the what, I don't even know what you call that, the like anime laugh where they go like yeah, exactly, yeah, that one, yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, he's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
not like a-
Think about what you're doing next time you try to cross an Adams.
My name's gonna be meaningless in a few years, but okay.
It's
I'll
like,
think about it next time I cross somebody who's tight with the captain. How about that?
Oh, Lucian has more friends than the captain. If we were in the human empire still, you would have settled this by my murder buying this escort visit.
We're not in the human empire anymore. That's the whole plan.
I feel so insulted with you calling me a murder bot. There are so many more facets to my existence.
A slaughter
whatever.
intelligence.
Clearly, you still need more of this therapy.
Of course, I mean, we're sensitivity training. But I don't know, I've just been in so much therapy. It's making me almost confused at this point. Like, did I remove all of the bullets
Oh no.
from my murder? It's just one of those questions where he's like, looks at him like, well, you know, I'm sure we don't need to find out to keep your
Yeah,
opinions to
Bro-
yourself in
Brogan's
the future.
Amazing. Brogan's is backed up at the wall, and he's like, I can't wait for this war to end so that I can settle down on the captain.
you know that one meme? You know that one meme with the kid sitting on the train with the two ara like mommies sitting beside him? You know what I'm talking about?
Amazing. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
All right. Yeah. So subplot finished. Brogan the asshole is thoroughly dealt with.
Listen's like, thanks, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm going to wave to Brogan as I leave and say, until next time. Maybe then we'll have more fun.
Private Day is just like, yes, on a day's work. You know, goes off to do other things. So, all right, and so I'm assuming that happens kind of early on in the week. Anything else you get up to, Lucian?
Nothing I can think of.
Cool. You reclaim your credit card and have a little bit of bonding time with Clarice. I'm gonna say you probably also get a lot of bonding time with, your beloved counselor. And honestly, she probably puts you in like group therapy, so you meet some other Thren who are like, "Oh, you're so cute," and they gawk over how adorable you are, and they try to braid your hair and stuff. You know,
Is she
like,
a
all
child
cute
at this point?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no, she's basically adopted you. Like,
Wow. Okay. Sure.
I mean, I'm just being real with you.
I've set you up a plated, group therapy session.
they braid your hair and they put flowers in it, and they're like, "Oh, cute," and stuff like that. You know, all
What the fuck are they getting flowers?
In
Oh,
space?
this is a Thren
There's like clearly a garden on the ship. Yeah.
always have
Yeah,
flowers.
we got mad hydroponics.
Yeah.
Okay, not to derail things, but I really want to do a one-shot where we play Thren Strategic Florists.
What would that even entail?
We're frontline combat florists.
Yeah.
No, we're the logistical core. We're bringing the flowers to the front.
Oh my god, I just removed the entire health.
Control
bar.
Z!
Holy shit.
Control Z! You can still
Wait,
Control Z!
There is no more Hell's
Oh,
Heart.
Wait, bruh. I just deleted the whole map, bruh.
Oh wow. We're having fun here. Okay. So yeah, no, they put flowers in your hair and have a fun time with you. And by the end of the week, Harris, you're brought into the office of your new friend, and she says, I've gotten some reports from an anonymous source that, Captain Khan's meeting with someone. I want you to oversee, to ensure that this meeting occurs, and I want to make sure that we figure out what's going on with that situation and how to resolve it in a way that is keeping of the peace amongst our fraught alliance. Can you do that?
Understood.
I'm like, oh yeah, me and the boss here are real great at keeping the peace.
Amazing.
Yeah, you're totally free.
Mm-hmm. There we are. So, you guys have had a long week of eventful travel in space. From spaceship carpentry to hijinks involving credit cards and hijinks involving total changes of heart and, other stuff. One guesses.
Mm-hmm.
It is now time for us to move to another map.
It's the heckin' Mapperino.
I think this is not the one. No, it is. Good. Excellent. You find yourselves nearing the new Neo-Roanoke system. And your massive human... This is not the right tone for what I'm looking for. I need something faster. Body horror? Sure. Whatever. It's gonna be a little tense, but whatever.
Yes, Lurb, local space.
Indeed. So, you guys blast out of this is better, much more on point. You guys blast out of fold space, and you are immediately confronted with the new Neo-Roanoke system. We've got the planet itself, new Neo-Roanoke, as well as its 3 moons, and an orbital space station, of which there are many. Not to mention the entire Thren fleet, as far as you're aware, and a number of Mirai vessels as well.
Is this my prejudice protocols, or does it look fruity?
Those are indeed your prejudice protocols. As well as, let's say, the Mirai, some Mirai ships. Copy, Control V, boom. Look at that, look at that. Got Mirai ships. I've got Thren ships.
Wow.
It's great. Alright. So, you do, however, not sojourn all the way to New Neo-Roanoke in the Hell's Heart. Once you get to a far off, farther afield planet in orbit the same sun, a planet farther out in the system, you are sequestered onto a smaller craft than the Hell's Heart because, again, they don't really want the Hell's Heart to be seen with the rest of the fleet.
But, Pat, who do we know that has a smaller craft that's been repaired recently and could take us out there?
Well, they also don't want that craft being seen with the rest of the
Kind of
fleet.
still a human ship.
They send you off on a Thren Pursuer, which I definitely have on speed dial somewhere. Give me one sec.
Should be under Registrar's vehicles? Yeah,
Oh,
I'll pop one
yeah,
out.
actually,
Bam.
oh, sweet. Pop one out. Thank you. They send you off on a Thren Pursuer. And, you reach the ship, or the system, you reach New Neo-Roanoke rather swiftly after that. And you're also joined by a human strike ship, of which there are thousands, so it's not like a big deal. And they while you're getting into orbit, however, you are privy to something else entering the system. It is a let's see. Yeah, I'll use this token to represent it. Human Empire missile. And it is heading straight for Neo-Roanoke. Coming closer. It's coming closer. They sent it through slip space, much like it was a
Communications missile.
communications missile. Yes. And instead, it is a fully armed nuclear warhead. Actually, it's a couple of them that are intended to break apart and fire directly at the planet, glassing it from orbit. Indeed. So it is getting closer. It's getting closer. It's getting closer, and then it erupts, having not fully deployed and you notice that there are indeed some Thren ships that are guarding the planet from these sorts of human assault mechanisms. So, the answer to whether or not the new Neo-Roanoke has been glassed, as you were informed by your superiors, is, well, it wasn't. And there seems to be life and light shining on the dark side of the planet.
I look out the side. I look out like a viewport, and I'm like, "That's a moon."
That's a moon. That's a moon. That's a moon. That's no moon.
No moon at all. It looks like a space station.
They're like, yes.
That's
it is
no
a
space station. That's a moon.
Oh, I've been confused.
Amazing. I don't know why my nerves are just like getting in my way here today. All right. So
It's because you haven't drunk enough yet.
I do not encourage her, James.
I was about to say, Pat doesn't need any help in that front.
She can truly handle it on her own.
getting back in the swing of things here. Let me see. So, yeah, let me see. I'm gonna move you to a new screen now. Just wanted to show you local space real quick. Definitely won't pop up in a unrelevant way later on. So, you guys are sent down to the surface of New Neo-Roanoke. And let me make this actually, this is not intended to be a, not the Thren Pursuer, but rather a shuttle would drop you guys out of that, or the strike craft. I'm just going to go ahead and say you came in the, there's no equator. Doesn't fucking matter. You guys can see this whole board, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yep.
Well, I mean, the stream can now too. Sorry.
Ayo.
Yep.
All right, let me grab relevant people. You, and you. All right. So, you guys, boom. Oh, wow, that's a token. Okay. You guys disembark from the shuttle, and let me put on another song. I hope I'm not giving you guys song whiplash here, but maybe this will do the trick. Still trying to find one that fits the general vibe. There we are. All right.
I understand New Neo-Roanoke has all these little like craters. Is the atmosphere really weak, or is there a lot of meteors or something?
Yes, it is actually under active terraforming. It's one of the
Interesting.
This is in fact a terraforming station where you're at. I don't know why I went so overboard on giving you guys maps and stuff, but here, this is where you are. I literally
we're down here.
Yeah,
I like
went
this map.
so overboard, guys.
She went.
This is like
Like
I mean,
the
huh?
Maltese map, you are here.
Yes. I don't even think this is gonna come up ever. Like, I don't really think we're gonna have to figure out who's where in this facility, but I made this map.
It's a great map.
To be fair, previous feedback was we were very unsure where we were, so you're just responding to our feedback.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Wow,
So-
Pat. Production
Well,
quality.
yes, that we probably aren't going to find.
Yeah. So here, you guys have landed on a lovely landing pad outside of the New Neo-Roanoke station. A terraforming station. You will notice that there's a few things amiss that separate this from an active human empire station. Specifically, some tattered banners, some gashes over top of the human empire's symbol, and a general lack of decent propaganda posters. Boom. So, yes. you are landing here, and Captain or Commander Trent says, "Excellent. Well, now we are to reconvene with the full force of the Thren fleet, the Thren attack fleet, and hopefully we will figure out a way to make sure that this plan of yours," gesturing over to Khan, "goes off without a hitch. I'm very, very hopeful that this will all work out smoothly." And you'll notice over here at the entrance to the station, there's an assorted group of people. Seems to be in large part, a combination of Thren and humans standing side by side. Isn't that cute? Yeah, it's something that you guys have never really seen before, except for I guess on the Hell's Heart. But they're just
except for in the past like 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, exactly. Although notably, these are not members of the ship that you're seeing out here. These are like colonists, and Thren.
So where are we exactly?
We are at correct me if I'm wrong, an atmospheric station, right?
The
Yeah.
terraforming station, is that the same thing or different?
Well, yeah, it's an atmospheric it produces the atmosphere.
Okay, to the atmosphere.
Yeah, this thing up here is the atmosphere generator.
Why over here?
Well, because this is where
there was a meeting that Khan was supposed to go to.
Ah, I see. Okay.
Yeah, well, this
and
is where
we're
like,
to
the whole-
protect it.
Gotcha.
That's kind of a little bit like what's going on. Yes.
Cool. Sorry, I didn't catch that. My bad. Keep going.
No, Trilby. Here. So, yeah, no, but by and large, that was correct. There is to be a meeting between the peoples who are about to launch an attack on Ichthus Station in well, actually, I can show you Ichthus Station too if you guys want. I made a map for that too. Check it. Fuck.
Oh yeah, we stepped with the holo table and boing. Just imagine this with like scan lines and like holographic boops and blobs picking off it.
Look at those rocks. Is that an asteroid belt?
Yes.
Pat, tell me, do you think this sounds like what's playing in the Cinemagic war planning room?
Do you have a? Oh God, yes. That's very war planning room esque. So we've got.
And remember, everyone, no fighting in the war room.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanna. Okay.
Let me move
bad.
back to here.
If you try to bring violence into the war room, we'll prosecute you with extreme violent prejudice.
Amazing. Yes. So representatives from all of the factions at play roll into the planning room. We've got Commander Trent. We've got Captain Khan. We've also got let me see. I'm going to grab a representative token of her because I haven't drawn a unique one for her, but I have drawn one to represent the majority of the troops of the Cornucopia Rebels. So let me see. We've got the Cornucopia Rebel commander, and we've got a hacker girl who has some very innovative thoughts as to how to dismantle Ichthus Station's defenses. So there's a rather diverse and large. Oh, and there's also
this is Crazy Hacker Girl.
Yes, Crazy Hacker Girl who fucked around with the father AI and fixed it for the betterment of science. And
also, who seemed very interested when I talked about shoving electrodes in people's brains to change how they think.
She thinks it's fascinating. She likes the thought of changing the way people think by inflicting, small amounts of damage to them. Crazy. Yeah, and you've also got a representative from one of the 3 hives that is actively sending troops to this joint venture.
Huh. Not one from All of the hives?
No, you're right. They have one from each hive. But you know, they only have really one who's speaking for the force.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, it's a joint force of several hives, and the 3 hives that have sent representative forces, you know, have 3 handmaidens who are handling the negotiations, but one of them speaks for the others, and the others are just like, yes. They've clearly talked through their strategy beforehand, and they're also not in possession of a very large war force. So these disparate forces at play bring to bear their strategies. And let me see, I can drop a table in the middle of this all. But this is kind of a amusingly enough, the one thing I did not do was actually make a war room page.
Mm-hmm.
So you're all this is gonna be the war room, everybody. I hope you're not too disappointed. Let me see. I've got there we are. There's our table. And right, okay. So you guys are all looking at this projector screen, which gives you some detailed information about the respective troops, and you will notice that all of a sudden in your inventories you have a little token called Fleet Forces. Wow, look at that! I made a document beforehand. Check out all this prep that I did. I can't GM for tonight,
prep,
but I did a lot of prep.
To be fair, there is normally a lot of writing behind all of it.
That is true. So you'll note that the human fleet consists of 2 forces. So actually, let me do this in a bit more of a cinematic way. You all walk up to the table, and Commander Trent, you know, gives a look to Khan, and Khan gives a look to Commander Trent, and he says, "All right, ladies, gentlemen, humans, non-humans, we are gathered here today to discuss matters of the utmost importance for the survival and, well, continued goodwill between our disparate folks. What is of the utmost importance is that we reclaim, or that we take the Ichthus station of the Ichthus system. It is the most well-defended sector in the human-controlled frontier. And not only is it well-defended, it is a warship-producing factory, and it is in a pivotal position to service any and all remaining human empire forces in the frontier. So, if we are to defeat human forces in the frontier, we must first take out Ichthus Station. So you'll look at your, if you'll note your dossier, and at this point, somebody else would walk into the room, and Captain Khan would look over to him, and he would look back at Captain Khan, and let me see, where is he? Where is that? Ah, give me one sec. I'm looking for the. Damn it. Okay, I'm gonna grab it from somebody's character sheet then. Fine. Alright. This guy walks into the room, and he says, "Just got here. Sorry I'm late." And Khan would say, "Ah, damn. I was worried you wouldn't make it. Everybody?
It's Sergeant Johnson!"
Everybody, this is Salt." And he says, "Yes, Carthage Salt. I'm of the
must have been big fans of freaking Scipio Africanus.
Okay, that's not a thing that the Romans did. It's a bullshit myth.
Welcome to the Human Empire. We're all about those.
Fields.
We are all about those.
Carthage Salt. And he says, "Yes, I'm here representing the rebel forces of the Osiris system." And Khan says, I was worried you wouldn't make it out of that one." Everybody, the Osiris system has 3 carriers, much like the Hell's Heart, and well, there's a bit of a bitter war going on there, and the commander of the cornucopian forces would say, "Yeah, makes what we did look easy," and he says, "Yeah, I'm aware." And he's like, "All right, everybody, let's settle down here. We have a mission to discuss." So you would tell immediately that Carthage, or that Mr. Salt, or let me say Representative Salt, and Khan have a bit of a shared history, and that they're close friends, which is not the case with Khan and the force leader of the Cornucopian rebels. Drama. Anyway. The human fleet, the consolidated frontier fleet, consists of 4 carriers that are all in orbit of Ichthys Station. There are 3 carriers unaccounted for in the frontier, which are all in the Osiris system, which is, this guy is expressing that they are locked down and they're not going anywhere. So, what matters to you guys is in the dossier that I've provided. What matters is the dossier that I've provided. Ichthys Station is guarded, or Ichthys System is guarded by 4 carriers, much like the Hell's Heart, 12 battleships, 30 strike ships, like your Ajax, and about 300 auxiliary ships, mostly good for refueling and stuff. That's not the half of it, though. We've also got to contend with Ichthys Station herself, and the orbital mines that are scattered throughout the system. Those are all coordinated at Ichthys Station. So the Ichthys Station's turret systems and orbital mines are a very crucial element to this coming battle. We have to take to the table currently the Thren War Fleet, as it has consolidated around this system, consists of 2 dreadnoughts, which are close range and could potentially take out an entire carrier if they got into the vicinity. 6 battleships, nothing like the 12 battleships, of course, that are provided by the Human Empire, but we have some Mirai battleships as well. 80 strike ships, those are those pursuers, and they're damn good at fighting, especially compared to the human strike ships. They're much better at maneuverability. We've also got some Mirai strike ships as well, and between the lot of us, a comparative amount of auxiliary ships for refueling and such. We have one thing, however, that the Human Empire is not going to expect: the Hell's Heart and the Ajax. My proposed plan is, oh yes, and before I get to that, we have one further bit of benefit to us, which is the Cornucopian fleet. They have successfully eradicated the Human Empire force in their own system, and they're intending to join us at the battle. When they get here is a variable that we are hoping will be resolved, and with any luck, we'll be able to coordinate this as a two-way flanking action.
I have a question.
Yes.
So you wanted us to make the Hell's Heart look like it were turning as normal. I'm still confused about smuggling the entire other 3 fleets. How does it really help?
So, what I'm proposing, he would say, is we send the Hell's Heart, as well as, potentially a good number of Thren strike ships, and the Ajax in first. And when they get there, I'm hoping that we will have enough time, because you will be good at your jobs of, lying to the enemy commanders, and I'm hoping that you, from the inside, with a select group of my men masquerading as your previous men, or, maybe some of the Thren, you can select your strike force. You and a good number of your crew enter Ichthys Station and deactivate their orbital mines into turrets. That's what I'm proposing. The Hell's Heart, at that point, once you've given the okay, will unleash, well, Hell and the Lilith Legion. And we'll start this battle, and once we start the battle, we'll be joined by the Marai and Thran war fleet. Hopefully sometime thereafter, we will be joined by the Cornucopian fleet.
Interesting. And how do they plan to avoid detection before then?
They'll be positioned in space, outside the system, floating around until we give them the order. By, of course, fasten the light missile.
Lurb, tackling in strange stars is achieved by you can't enter surf space if there is a large enough gravitational anomaly near you, so you can't jump near an enemy capital ship.
Yes. So, like the dreadnoughts of the Thran war fleet or the human carriers.
Unrealistic. You should be able to do it. It would just have a high chance of causing you and the enemy ship to suddenly be shattered as you don't quite make it, and both get folded into slip space halfway.
Almost actually how it works. So they don't do that. Yes.
That sounds like a great idea, though. What?
And Ma's like, well, I don't see any problem with this plan, other than the fact that, based on what you're saying, we don't have any fighter craft, do we?
Wait, can we not just send like a small ship that can enter slip space, just like up beside the enemy, like a main craft, and then just try to jump and just kamikaze them?
I mean, that's probably something that the Marai have actually done, and probably also the humans, let's be honest. Yeah, no, so wait, sorry. The fighters, yeah, the humans don't. All right, so the human fighters are are pretty inferior to the human or to the Thran strike ships, and the Thran strike ships are equipped with escape
MEV particle beams, yes.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, but the humans have 400 fighters, and the Thran have 80 strike ships. So even if they're a lot worse,
Representative Ritter makes a point. Once they enter operational range, they're going to chrome out the black void of space with shiny little motherfuckers who are going to complicate any attempts to maneuver. At the medium and long range, there will be some advantage, but if they bring their carriers to bear, well, I'm not sure how long the fight's going to last.
Yeah, no, Khan would say, I suppose I neglected to state that we have 200 fighters of the human variety on the Hell's Heart. It is a super carrier.
All right. So we're going to deploy them behind the enemy lines.
Yeah, that's the idea. Sorry, that part I kind of assumed would be understood, because I mentioned earlier that the carriers contain at least 100 each, and, so...
Okay, yeah, it does say 200 fighter by the Hell's Heart. Sorry, I just missed that.
No, I added it just now. You did not miss it.
Oh, I guess so, yeah. You assume that it meant carriers had these things in it, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I assume that maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know.
No, that's fine. So yeah, the human carriers. So typically, the reason that the Hell's Heart was so drastic of a blow when it was lost is because it had such a massive payload inside of it. So it's pretty significant. And yeah, so my plan is essentially a Trojan horse strategy here.
So, Ichthus Station is where ships are repaired, yes? And it's a coordination center for the fleet?
It's a coordination center, a ship repair, and a ship production facility. They have a massive orbital shipyard, which is, at any given time, producing, at the very least, fighters and battleships and strike crafts such as yourselves. But the Hell's Heart was built there, as were many of the frontier stabilized human fleet battleships. So it is a rather significant item to take off the board.
Not to mention any ships they haven't shipped out yet will be up for grabs. Assuming the station survives in your plan.
I'm
My
hoping
question
that
exactly.
it would be
Alright.
an immense asset to the coming human empire coming human frontier forces, and not to mention repairs to the Thran and Mirai warships as well. We could turn the human empire's greatest asset against them.
Alright. So, you're proposing that we board the enemy station and then unleash the Hell's Heart on them at point-blank range.
Yes, if need be, as a distraction to facilitate your endeavors on the inside of it, on the inside of the station, we can unleash hell at any given point when you signal us to. I'm hoping that this battle won't begin until you've deactivated the turrets and orbital mines.
Deactivated?
From within the station, yes.
Oh, but if they're ours, why not use them?
Oh, deactivated or turned them against the enemy forces, yes.
Also,
But
generally
turrets-
speaking, if the enemies are at a given point, they put mines outside of that point, and we have to go through the mines to get to them. They don't have to go through the mines.
Yeah, I don't think the mines are going to be all that useful to us, but the turrets will be.
True, but this is a repair station. They're going to have to return for, well, a variety of reasons.
But they're already around at the station.
Yeah, no.
right?
So the
And
thing
this
is,
is just
they're
also where the human fleet hangs out.
That's where
They're
they
not
are,
just
yes.
shipping
they're around the
repairs.
station, and then the mines are further out than that.
Correct.
But the issue is that the human empire needs to get their carriers close, or they're not going to pay off.
Not really.
But we're sending the Hell's Heart to be like right in the midst of them at the start of the fight. The fight will take
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
place
that's
like
the
past
close
idea.
to
mines.
the enemy, yes, but not close to
What
the
if
station.
we, as a distraction, detonated the entire minefield instead
I'm
of
sure sailing
deactivating
through the
it?
shrapnel and gas will be great for our fleet.
You know how far apart mines this space we're talking about.
Yeah. No,
It's not
just as
gonna
a
be easy.
distraction.
Seems like it would just waste good mines that could be used as defenses for the station later.
Yeah, no, let's keep all the defenses, as many as we can, intact. I would like to, if we may, make this a surgical strike and just take out as many of their ships as possible.
All right. To that end, is there anything we can do that's more creative than simply pitting our ships against theirs? I see that Irina is here. Is there anything we can?
She's Irina, right? The hacker?
Yeah,
Did I-
that's what you named her.
Cool.
Mhm.
I'm so bad with my own name. Right? She's like, yes, I'm very open to ideas. Do you have any? I recognize that you have a similar mindset to my own.
Well, I mean, there's got to be something we can do, because, I mean, of course, we're all familiar with human ships, so A, we should know their weaknesses and be able to exploit them. B, I feel like with access to this station, especially if we got access to their systems, we might be able to send in some kind of virus payload that would shut out their comm systems, or we could, fool their sensors. There's got to be something we can do with,
Well, if
these giant
Do you-
computers.
If they're operating on Human Empire Network Standard, then they'll all be controlled directly by a father unit, yes?
Question: how many of those ships have a Titan array?
Much like the one on the Ajax.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, sorry. So all the human destroyers. You guys had a better array than most though.
Mhm.
You're like a specialized and
Because
advanced.
what if the virus payload just told those lovely little nuclear warheads to detonate? Wouldn't that be rather
Ew.
effective at taking care of the fleet?
One assumes there are
Wait.
physical fail-safes to prevent setting off the warheads. Otherwise, they would be so vulnerable to E-War, I mean, anyone could do it.
That's true.
Yeah,
Unless
that's not
they're
really
stupid.
practical.
And they kind of are.
But that's such a waste of shit. I feel like, I mean, you all defected. We've defected. It seems like there might be a way to artificially induce that opportunity. We could get people to panic in the right way and to believe that they and they alone were being offered an opportunity with their ship to, surrender. we might be able to cause a panic and, stop them from obeying.
Commander Trent says, this is actually a rather interesting idea. What are you proposing here, Ms. Ritter?
I'm thinking that we should send an encrypted message offering each captain the exclusive opportunity to flee the battle in exchange for a full pardon and, a governorship. I mean, obviously, we're not going to honor the requests, but if, we can get a couple to flee, it will break ranks, people lose morale, the general will be rattled, or admiral.
Yeah, no, they like your idea.
Especially if we included some statistics, either whatever IO actually has or fake things that look plausible, since we do have the expertise of an IO agent here. We can make it look legitimate.
Here's the thing.
Of course, Neurona, which was last. Some lovely timestamp pictures.
The whole point of this is that it's a sneak attack. So you're proposing we send messages beforehand to their commander saying, hey...
I'm supposing we send them
you might want to
battle. To clarify.
In battle. See, that's different than beforehand. All right.
Yeah, I didn't say beforehand.
All right. So the messages arrive during the battle, and they decide whether or not they're going to flee, but at the very least, we could put some indecision in them. If we take control over the speakers, we can talk to everybody on board the ship, and if the time comes for them to, initiate the self-destruct, and I don't know, the father system that would control that is subverted, then they'll have some tough decisions to make.
She says, this all sounds to me like we're going to need to get into their father unit on the station, which is something I really want to do. It's a little bit advanced from the one that was on the Hell's Heart, and I'm really eager to pick its brain, literally. It's going to be the one that's in control of the orbital mines and the turrets. I can show you how it's done, or you guys can take me with you.
Are you sure that... are you sure that an organic can match wits with an entire installation-based father unit in such a short span of time?
I did!
Lovely.
Also, it should be noted that the father units are very adept at administering stations. They have their faults.
Yes, the IO agent, of course, would know these things. So would the person who's on the company that designs them.
For example, it's a well-kept secret by IO that if you put a banana on your head, the cameras do not recognize you.
I don't...
I'm so sorry about that.
No, I don't say that. That's a secret. I'm not telling that. It's not really helpful.
It's how he sneaks off
the father unit doesn't recognize
watch everyone.
You. It just shoots you. So, considers you an enemy. So, there's not really a help case for it. It's just a weird bug we found out when we were doing some experiments.
The facial recognition just can't recognize the banana as part of a face, and so it's like, that's an enemy thing. Shoot it.
It's a new species of alien.
Yeah, we spent a few 100 million credits trying to develop a drone bananas that would crawl on enemy heads when they board our ships, but the program never really got off the ground, mostly because we kept eating the banana. We had to divert all the money from the concession, from the snack budget to do the program, but we just ended up eating all the bananas in the program to make up for the lack of snacks.
What is going on?
It's a war room meeting.
Io has fake gregaliness with his wisdom.
I see. Okay.
Indeed. So, yeah, and so Osiris, or sorry, not Osiris, he's from the Osiris system. Salt would say, well, this all sounds good. I will get back to the delegation in our system, and with any luck, we'll make sure that the other carriers don't join the fray. That would be a nightmare. And Khan says, yeah, that would be bad. And yeah, no, everybody seems to be in favor of your proposal that you interfere with. So, to be clear, your proposal is that you send messages in a bottle declaring that there's going to be some sort of repatriation in some sort of coming human empire, or not human empire, but human governance in the frontier, right? Essentially?
Yeah, essentially. They're each being, them and only them are being offered immunity and, a nice cushy position in the frontier government and, being told how badly the human empire is doing and about, the conspiracies that they're just kind of getting hit with
do
you want to die here or do you want to live in a, nice position?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Khan especially is very enthusiastic about that, and he's like, have an inkling here that we're gonna get some interested parties. Depending on who it is, I might even take them up on the offer.
Now, here's an idea I'm having. What if I have any way to reach IO, I could send a message that mission's going well, or when we get there, before everything goes bad, I say, like, everything went well, but we suspect that they're going to send messages to the crews trying to get them to revolt, and that they have, promises that it looks like they intend to upkeep. The captains hear about that to prevent the crews from mutinying. So when we make the offers, they're already in the mindset that these offers are legit, now that they're coming to them.
Interesting.
Do you think I would really do that instead of...
The only issue there is putting the enemy on high alert.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if we do want to hack their systems,
I was just telling them that the frontier fleet, that like the enemy forces are going somewhere else entirely in the hopes of diverting some enemies ahead of us.
That's not a bad move either.
Yeah, that might be useful.
That is a schmoove.
The Osiris system is currently engaging in a bit of a conflict that could, in fact, use the Bren and Mirai force to help liberate it. Perhaps that
could... but if we send extra forces there, would the Osiris system and their carriers not be overwhelmed?
No, they probably would be. That's a good point. That said, if it's just a quick diversion to kind of throw people off guard, and you don't plan on letting them get out of the system to actually enact that, it wouldn't hurt. General Salt is, or Admiral Salt, I'm gonna say, he's Representative Salt, sorry, is interested in the prospects of a diversion of that sort, and can think of a couple other systems that might, work instead of the Osiris system. If you want to spread false information.
All right.
Yeah, seems reasonable.
I mean, I could get further into it, but, there's a couple other places that are pretty high strategic marks, but Ichthus Station is definitely the one that everybody here at the table is interested in going to. Although, this guy's like, at some point, please help.
Yeah.
When you guys so I'm next, right?
I'm sorry I missed like 2 minutes. Can I get a rundown of like the whole plan? Like, real quick, give me like a 10-second rundown.
Does somebody else want to do it, or should I? I don't want to be the only one talking, but...
If I recall correctly, and correct me if any of this bit is wrong, the current plan is we bring the Hell's Heart home with our ship, and then when we go to report mission successful, we're going to have us and a small team will break into the father unit of Ichthus Station and do something with it to take care of the defenses.
The planet. Yes.
Once we've taken care of the defenses, we're going to send out a signal for the Hell's Heart to attack. While they are attacking, when the Hell's Heart attacks, they also will send out a signal for the Threat and the Mirai to come in. While the attack is occurring, we are going to be sending messages to the captains, promoting or telling them that they can get cushy jobs in the government or in the new government if they just don't fight and leave.
I see.
Am I missing anything?
Sounds
Cool.
about right.
And then hopefully we win.
The beta switch element of that, and we just added Max's thing,
Oh,
which is diverting part of the fleet by saying that, somewhere else. Our fleet menacing another likely target using his IO clearance.
Right. So the human empire likely knows that there's a consolidation of forces in the new Neo-Roanoke system. That's probably not beyond their cognition. That said, they don't necessarily know the full forces here unless they have a spy or something, which is why the Hell's Heart was never taken all the way to the planet. And they also don't necessarily know what your plan is, which is why it's kind of a closed room affair.
Cool. All right. Sounds like a good plan. I'm down.
Come to think of it, you probably would be in this room. Actually,
My
no.
only concern is, do we have a plan in case the infiltration part goes awry? Do we have a plan to get out?
Wing it.
Or is this a
He
succeed
just
or
looks at you
suicide
and
mission?
says, well, if you're in Ichthus Station, friend, you're in enemy waters. I'm assuming you're trusted enough for this mission, which is, of course, I'm assuming you were trusted enough from the beginning to be sent on this mission in the first place, which to me indicates that you're rather trusted amongst the brass.
Of course. Handpicked by Roger Ross.
Right, who is unfortunately not with us anymore. That said, casualties are probably expected. I'm hoping that you manage to pull off your end of things, but if you need to retreat without completing your side of the mission, I can't guarantee that the Hell's Heart will be safe for you if you haven't taken out the orbital mines, because we are going to be in hot water too. And Commander Trent says there is a potential for retreat. Yes, we of course will do as much as we can to enable the to open up the retreat ways if that becomes the plan. However, we're very much banking on the success of your surreptitious mission prior to the engagement of our fleets. Right, when you're in Ichthus Station, you're probably going to be dealing with a whole bunch of guys and maybe some robots of the sort that you have dealt with in the past. You're all very capable folks. I've seen you in action. God, it was terrifying. Well, I wasn't in the action, but from what I saw of those camps, you guys did a number on the crew that I sent at you. So, if you guys act even half as ferociously as you did towards my men, I think we'll have ourselves a bit of a win here.
And I assume, are all familiar with the layout of Ichthus Station because we were there. Like, do we know where the father unit is from where we dock? Like,
yeah, Clarice, Carl, and I'm gonna say probably also honestly, all of you know, except for maybe Inmata does not know. Where you're gonna dock, it's not that far off. You'll have to go through a number of chambers, and of course, so probably the procedure is going to be you're going to be debriefed, and the debriefing room, as well as the Admiral's meeting room, they're one and the same, because I'm going to reuse that map, is very close to the father AI.
okay, good. And so I assume that, like, basically we're all getting the military debriefing, and that's what would happen first. Like,
yes, you'll all be sent into the debriefing. And, if everything goes according to normal military procedure, you will all be in the same place in that debriefing room, and nothing at all will go awry, and everything will be completely amazing because you're all members of the military. And you'll all be in the same room, debriefed by the same person.
Definitely how debriefing works.
In Modikovs.
Yeah, true.
Yes, no, well, I mean, maybe not you. But hey, the IO agent is definitely gonna vouch for you. Don't worry about that.
So,
You
I
know?
mean, are there Fenrir Corp people there? Like, I'm hoping that I wouldn't see them before this happens.
That was
So,
what
yeah,
the
I mean,
whole-
I assume we're gonna have to see her first before anything else.
the idea is that if
You could probably send me in your place, because I doubt I would need to be debriefed militarily, because I'm just a robot.
right. Well, Clarice
But-
and Meat. So what I was trying to unsubtly hint at is that Clarice and Meat might actually end up getting separated from you guys during the briefing, because you are not members of the normal
Military
hierarchy.
members, at all.
So that could put a little bit of a spanner in the works, is the concern. It's kind of hoping that would be a surprise, but you guys are smarter than that.
I mean, yeah.
So what would
I li-
normally happen to us? Like,
That literally happened in the first session. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah, no, but I
You'll
mean,
probably be brought into the Fenrir Corp room
yeah, you'll probably have to talk with
and
Dr.
be like,
Wong
here you
himself.
go, we got your data stuff.
I mean, after that, you'd probably be allowed to rejoin the debriefing room or be able to do whatever you want, because if you've done your job right and Dr. Huang is satisfied with your work, then you will go have free reign to the station.
okay.
So it's going to be up to you how you negotiate Fenrir Core side of things. Indeed.
Oh,
Intrigue.
okay. So I guess one of the things I'm probably going to want to make before we do that then is a copy of a copy of the Disc 13th information. And then for this disc, I'd like it to keep the information, but I like it to erase itself from any system it was in an hour or two after it's been plugged into something.
Oh,
That is
that's no
100%
fun.
doable.
You don't want to
well-
spread news on how to murder people?
Give me a Comtech roll.
Let's see.
plus 3 Fenrir Core technology.
Fortunately, it's already in my system.
Okay, I know that you have it, but yeah,
Yes.
we're good guys now.
Supposed to
Not actually just give them the information about genocide.
Genocide, what?
you say that out loud?
No, I'm not hacking into the middle of our war reading.
Yeah, that probably happens shortly after.
So the war meeting is over then, yes?
Has everybody resolved everything?
So-
Everybody aware of the plan?
Yep.
Okay, yes. So Commander Trent says, all right, well, if we're all on the same page here and we've all discussed I mean, there'd probably be more matters discussed than what just went on, although, it's good to get everybody on the same page here. Commander Trent would say, all right, well, if we're all on the same page, then I officially call this meeting of the Alliance adjourned. And Captain Khan says, oh, wonderful, wonderful. I had planned on, spending the rest of my evening practicing some of your fight. He would sit on the war table and maybe light a cigar or something with Osiris and say something along the lines, or why do I keep calling him Osiris? I'm sorry, fucking
Salt.
Representative Salt. I came up with that cool name and everything, and I keep calling him Osiris. So he would sit down with Representative Salt and light a cigar and say, yeah, excellent. I was planning on engaging in some of your traditional friend practices for community bonding. And she's like, oh God, what are you referring to? And she's like, oh yeah. And Khan's like, oh yeah, I'm writing a book on your culture. I've met with many a thread on the ship. Thank you, by the way, for introducing me to so many of them. She's like, oh, here we go again. And he's like, yeah. I especially like this one practice from the far south of your home planet Mrad. apparently in times of conflict, the men of a community would get together and engage in some community bonding of the well, the sort that they don't particularly condone in the human empire. And she's like, "Oh, you're referring to that tradition? Actually, that's a pretty cool tradition. Yeah." And he's like,
I'm going to
"Yeah."
whisper to Lucy in the relatively low reviews that his Thrin lovers have given him.
Wait.
And she's like, "What is an? Oh, is that a human word that I don't know? Orgy. What does it mean? It's the thing where a lot of people all engage in sexual acts." She's like, "Oh yes, we have a couple of words for that." Yeah. So he's proposing that there's going to be an orgy.
Wait, I'm so sorry. I keep getting distracted by something. I apologize.
It's okay.
It's a very distracting topic.
What's happening with an orgy, huh?
Yeah, no. So the war meeting's over, and he's like, he's talking shit with the commanding officer of the Thread. He's like, "Yes, I'm writing a book on your culture. There's going to be, I'm going to experiment with some of your cultural practices of, community bonding." And he's mentioned a particular cultural quirk in which
I
members
wondered the Thrin words. It's interesting that orgy actually means wrath in Greek. Just kind of like look at him like, strange, isn't it? How sexual activity and rage can be so. I clearly think it's going to the meeting, but
I don't know what that means, and you scare me, but I kind of like it. And as he walks out, he's like, "You there, handsome shirtless fellow. Forgot your name." And Harris, maybe you too, Adams. And have you ever played Rostian poker?
Rostian poker?
I will have to decline your.
Am I familiar with Rastian
Very
poker?
generous
Is there
offer.
briefings on this?
You'd probably, you know that the Rast have many forms of poker, depending on what home ship you're referring to, and you know that the Rast have a very rich gambling culture. By the way, maybe worth noting, but Horner, Han did not join you as you went down to the ship. She's still in Hell's Heart. Yeah, she's giving you the cold treatment. I'm afraid.
I feel like out of duty she would be here because she's supposed to be one of the commanding officers or something like that.
Oh, it
She
doesn't
is.
look like there are a lot of
Crashing
sub-captains here. Like, Khan standing in for all the rebels from his military part. Like,
Yeah.
we're the odd ones out in this sense that we're not in charge of anyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Khan would be speaking for Han. Khan would be speaking for Han. And in this instance,
Sorry.
and no, it's fine. And
I think they just brought us all along because we all need to know the plan inside and out to do the sneaky.
exactly, yeah, that's why you were brought in. And he would say to you something like, "I know you have affections for Han. She's a badass warrior, and I can entirely understand that. If you need me to put in a good word for you or something, probably not my place. But
No, it's not.
fair enough.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Ouch, that stings.
I planned on keeping her in reserve in case we needed to extract your strike team. By the way, so she'll be looking out for you.
Oh, I feel a lot
She and I will
better
both
if
agree that would be a
Porter
waste of
apologized
assets.
before that happened.
Wait, sorry.
Sorry.
What did Devin say?
Han and I would both agree that would be a waste of assets.
He says, I suppose, but the way I see it, you're all very important assets, and not a man who wastes assets flippantly. I believe in you, and I believe that this mission is of the utmost importance. If you need extraction, or if you need an assistance that Muscle can provide, she'll be there for you. speak. You can feel free to speak to me in my office hours in a later point if
Okay,
you
Professor.
have any alternatives to my proposal here.
Meat extraction. Best way to extract yourself is just be able to not have to breathe oxygen and keep on firing downwards until you're safe.
Hmm.
Oh no,
Indeed.
Shin left the meeting.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Come back to me, Shin. It worked.
Shin, come back.
Amazing.
You needed
Sorry.
to help me.
Hello?
Hey,
Hello. How
Sorry
much of
about
that
I don't
did
know
you
what
hear?
happened.
Hey,
No, it's fine.
Shin is the DM.
Hell
Fuck.
yeah!
Pat,
Oh my
could
goodness, what about-
you refresh?
Yes, I shall refresh. Alright. Alright, wow. Where's my refresh button? It is almost the time for the
Break, yeah.
Alright, refresh.
Okay.
You're muted, by the way, Pat.
Conjurance turns to after having a little bit less than heartfelt conversation with Horner, let's be honest. Turns to Harris and says, Asian poker, it's like our poker, except the Ras don't usually wear sleeves.
I then am like, oh, do you play with the, and I list like 3 different homeship rules? Like homeship X, homeship Y, or homeship Z?
Homeship X!
What does homeship X do? What's their specialty?
Do make it the spirit of Ren homeship, where you can cheat as long as you don't get caught.
That's the point.
Mhm.
But I imagine RAS playing cards are smaller than human playing cards because they're smaller than humans. But they also don't wear sleeves, so I imagine RAS cheating must be really creative and fun. And
Well-
I'm not saying we need to do a RAS gambling tournament, but
We kind of had one at one point. Do you recall? Actually, wait, the whole crew for this is basically the same crew that was on that episode, actually.
Yeah.
With
I
exception,
feel
I
like
think
Ras
the rainbow.
cheating would take advantage of their fur, though.
Mm.
Because
Their fur, dexterous sleight of hand.
Indeed,
Mhm.
indeed. All these points are moot, though. He would probably try and small talk people, and then walk into a room where there are like 12 pretty friend guys, and he'd say, "Well, Paris, if you want to join me, you're welcome to. But I'm going to be spending the rest of my evening enjoying some community bonding."
have fun.
Indeed.
So they're playing
You
poker,
literally-
or is there an orgy going on? I'm confused.
there's an orgy going on.
There's an orgy.
Right
going on.
there.
¿Por qué no los dos?
I see.
Yes.
Okay.
They're not playing
Well-
poker. They're playing pokim.
If they were, oh my gosh. If they were playing poker, Lucian would join, but that's a lot
No.
of Christ. Pat, holy.
That's a lot of throwing.
Yeah. They're having fun. So while that's happening, Commander Trent would be looking at screens and stuff, and I'm gonna say, anybody who's like kind of eyeing what she's doing, roll me an observation check.
Is she just, like what she's doing is like
Alright.
in like the boardroom?
Well, she's eyeing. This is like the command center, so they've got computers and stuff that relay information about what's happening in the system.
Meat is
Oh, I
paying
should have a lot of
attention.
stress.
Damn, Harris, take down that stress.
I forgot about the
Mm.
stress.
Okay,
Good
so
decision.
Carl Harris clearly
Yeah,
drank a
it
lot of
happens.
coffee this morning.
That's Harris'
Everybody-
secret. He's always stressed.
Yeah, everybody sees what she sees. It's another one of those human missiles, except this time, before the Thren fleet intervenes and shoots it out of orbit, it it changes its moment, or it changes its trajectory very swiftly, and then it disassembles itself before reassembling itself, and then the Thread fleet knocks it out, and it explodes. And she's like, "Wow, that was a lot stranger than usual."
Disassembles
also,
and
didn't we already
reassembles
send-
itself.
Didn't they already send one? And her associated or her ally here is just like, "Yeah, we already took out the one. They usually send them once a day." And she's like,
You definitely do a scan. It might have dropped something off before being destroyed. I mean, the disassembly.
Yeah.
Does that sound like anything from IO archives?
It sounds like a couple things, but the way, if you were paying attention, the way that it disassembled itself, it doesn't seem like it was a. Actually, give me a real quick unaltered wits check.
All right. Can you just roll?
The real
straight with? I'll just roll
question:
comms
did
check. I don't have any
Harris
points in that.
do a good job and look things up?
I know
or did he
exactly
eat
what's
bananas
going
and
on.
lounge around?
Okay, Harris.
I was not on the banana team, thank you. I applied, but they didn't let me in.
The banana team, you say? Harris.
Actually, we also have a banana team in that sense. They're also called the banana team, and their uniforms are yellow, which got confused with the banana team that actually works with bananas. His uniforms are black. It's confusing. We're moving on.
The way it disassembled itself and the signature reading that comes after it disassembles itself, you get the impression that there aren't any nuclear warheads on that missile at all. Furthermore,
Interesting.
when you get a look at what you're seeing, it doesn't strike you as a human model of missile at all, but rather a close facsimile of a human communications / remote detonations missile. Looks like somebody's trying to make it seem like a human communication / detonation missile was sent into the system. That's not what happened.
I look at the Polo table and I'm like, something's fucky with that missile. I don't think it had a nuke on it. Someone tried really hard to make it look like a normal missile, but it was doing something else.
Very interesting. I wonder what that could possibly mean.
I definitely I second Clarice's suggestion. We need to send someone up there and take a look at what's left of it.
Well, whoops, wrong ping. Well, I'll send in a couple pursuers to see what's left of the wreckage.
As also, low-key, it's the
Do you have a
proto-molecule.
human technology expert? Because, I mean, they thought this would work, given, potential presence here.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, the assumption is that you blow it up.
Mm-hmm.
What's left of it is typically ash.
Yeah, that's the problem. They assumed that you would blow it up, so whatever it did is probably functioning.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is a departure from sending a futile nuclear missile, which means they expect that they've been blown up so far and have altered course. It means that whatever you just did was probably ineffective.
She says, well, I'll definitely have to send some pursuers up to see what happened. This is strange, but hopefully nothing untowards comes of it. And on that note, I'm going to put us off on our 10-minute break, everybody.
Yeah, well, thank you all for coming through. We will resume after this break.
This is why I never do prep for sessions, guys. It always throws me off. Just kidding. All right, so I've got my orgy guys. I'll move them to the orgy room.
The orgy room is overflowing into the hallway.
I actually do have an orgy room. I went way overboard
It
with
used to be an office though, with a lot of desks and computers.
I mean,
They better not get anything on Janice's keyboard. She is already a fuse this short.
Wait, have you guys haven't seen the orgy room, have you?
I mean,
I don't know. Have we? I
No.
don't know.
I don't know. I mean, there's.
but
never
Max
had
is
that orgy
referring to the
before,
actual art of the mini map room.
Indeed. What fun. Put that on GM layer and move to the GM. Excellent, excellent. I should probably also go back and name characters that are important names that have not actually gotten name tags yet. So let me do that. That's a very important thing for me to do while I'm organizing myself.
We also have the big question. If we get a look at the origin, we'll find out. Is Captain Khan a top or bottom?
He's a switch.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah, no, he's 100% a switch, and definitely, you know, like he's a middle, honestly, you know.
Yeah, very useful in a room like that.
Verse. Yeah, that's what I meant. Let me see. So I've got a name for the strategic advisor to Commander Trent, and her name is... Oh, right. There it is. Glage. Man, I have so many named NPCs now. It's terrible. I have to copy them all. Akpirya Glage. Excellent. Whoops, wrong person. She is not Akpirya Glage. She is Edit. She is... Close that tab. Let me see that one. Irana Petrova. And the leader of the Cornucopian rebels, I think I did give her a name. It was... I did give him a secretary. I don't think that's going to be important, though. Let's see.
You see Kevin, Captain's personal secretary, heading to the orgy with water and towels.
Oh, damn, I have to actually include that now. I did actually name the guy, so he's got to make an appearance. Let me see. Do I have a suitable? Oh wait, yes. This guy, the nerdy assistant.
Yes.
Amazing. His personal secretary, definitely at the meeting. I mean, orgy.
An orgy is just another kind of meeting.
Indeed.
Yeah, an MEATING.
Ooh.
Ugh.
I even had a name for it in Thread Fling, but I forgot what it was. Let me see. Did I ever actually name the Cornucopian Rebel commander? Or have I just been referring to her
Miss
as...
Cornucopia. She was the winner of a.
I don't
pageant.
remember her name. If you did, so I think so.
God, I feel like I did, but I don't remember where I wrote it, because I thought I sent it to you, but like, you definitely remember most of the names that I've sent you.
No,
And
I mean I didn't talk to the Cornucopian Rebel in our week off. Like, I wouldn't
Right.
know their name. Like, I don't think it was
Jacqueline
in the
Okafor.
President's
Jacqueline Okafor. Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that does sound familiar now.
Yeah, I sent that to you briefly because you didn't. I don't think you spoke to her, but like you definitely referred to her a couple times. So, all right, Jacqueline Okafor.
Interesting name choice.
Is there something that?
Oh,
there some-
because the name of Han's first name is Jacqueline too.
Oh,
Yeah, I saw that,
Okay.
and it was like, that's kind of funny. But I mean, she doesn't have a monopoly on the name Jacqueline.
Yeah.
We
sure.
call her Han
Spell
anyway.
them both differently.
All right, she goes by Jack Okafor. There we go. Boom. Unless Han does that.
No, I call Han by Lin.
There we go. Boom. I did it. I differentiated them. Why am I so bad at this?
Because in
Sorry,
your
guys.
head, there's only like 7 names to pick from, and so you're like, that one.
Yeah, no, I definitely have like a shitty name thing. It's funny because like I'm really good at coming up with names for the thread on the fly, but then I don't remember them. That's just terrible.
It's okay. I wrote, in college, I wrote a story, and I only realized after I had finished it that I had 2 very different characters, both named Frank.
There can only be one Bob in any story. All right. Also, let me put a name tag on Carthage Salt because I did not actually give him a name tag, but that's just a fun name. I don't actually think you can see any of these name tags, but they are here for me now.
We can see some.
Oh,
And by
cool.
some, I mean I can see Carthage Salts.
Oh, weird. Can you
Yeah.
see Akipira Galages?
I think that's
No.
because I can also move around.
It's
Carthage
because
Salt.
Carthage is based on Marvin,
Oh.
and Marvin is accessible to everyone,
Yeah.
so they can see his name.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah,
not-
but when it's shown on the other ones, you're gonna have to go into advanced
Yeah,
settings.
I'm
and
doing-
then
I'm doing it
players
right
can
now.
see.
Yeah, I'm doing it right
Thank you.
now, Pat.
Thank
So
you.
many names.
I know. might as well give Khan, Captain Khan, a name tag as well.
Captain
And
Khan is
let me
climbing the mountain. Why is he climbing the mountain?
To get to the orgy at the top.
Yeah, I know.
Yes. And what was his name? I think I named him Kyle, not Kevin. But Kyle is the secretary. Boom.
Here's the real question: are any of the Thren at the orgy like the Thren since, or did the rest of those get left behind?
They're all on the ship,
mean-
undergoing mental breakdowns.
These may be friendship.
Not
It's
me.
sin.
I'm fine.
For now.
Yeah, I would.
We don't know if these are friend synths or not.
So, like, do the three hives, like, do the Mirai handmaidens, like, have any, like, strong input on the going of the battle, or are they just content to, like, cram it in wherever it goes?
Yeah, no, they didn't have very much input, but they're going along with whatever Commander Trent says, and Commander Trent has a very strong understanding of what is to be done here. So, show name tag. Yeah, no. So Commander Trent and the Mirai are all kind of on the same page, and they agree with Captain Khan's suggestion because it sounds like the closest they'll get to a straight shot at the Ichthys Station. Now, Ichthys Station has gone under attack before with a group of behind enemy lines strike ship of Mirai and Thren strike fleet of Mirai and Thren vessels, and that did not go very well. So they're hoping that the insight of human rebels will allow them the in that they. And so far, it seems like they've got a pretty good team with, Irana Petrova, who is eager to hack into the planet, and, Jack Okafar, who's successfully led a rebellion against, her own. Well, actually, she's not the rebel commander of Cornucopia. The rebel commander is still in Cornucopia Station, but she's like a high-ranking official. And we've also got Captain Khan, who knows a lot of people apparently, and Carthage Salt, who is kind of in the same situation.
Amazing.
Indeed. So I think we're more or less back, right?
I think so. Shin, you there?
Yep.
Awesome. And Rainbow?
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I'm not.
a while passes, and you guys can have a conversation. I mean, you'd probably be conversing amongst the still assembled folks here. The Mirai would presumably have a conversation with Carthage, or not Carthage, with Commander Trent, while Carthage Salt and, Irana Petrova and the other rebels from Cornucopia converse. And Akpiria Glaj, the strategic advisor, is probably over here. She's Commander Trent's strategic advisor. And they're all having a good time, feeling pretty gangster. And all of a sudden, nothing happens. And Commander Trent comes over to you, Miss Ritter, and says, the pursuers have checked the former location of that human missile, and it seems that there's nothing out of ordinary there. It seems perhaps they sent an empty shell accompanying the other one. Perhaps it was a misfire.
Wow, I mean, that seems incredibly optimistic. I mean, like, how thoroughly did they check? What kind of expertise did they have?
Well, we checked thoroughly, and there's no signs of any payload on the inside, nor is there any signs of payload anywhere else. Our
any abnormal sensors, anything that looked like a scan.
Look, human tech is great, but I can't think of anything that would possibly be able to outmaneuver our sensors. I sent my finest.
Okay, with all due
pursuers.
respect, Commander Trent, there were at least 20 Thrin Sins on your ship.
Are you
that
aware
you did before they triggered? Like, how can you still make a claim like that?
Yeah, you may be correct. I may be overly optimistic here. What would you propose? Are you aware of any highly advanced stealth technology employed by the humans at this moment? Because as far as I'm aware, nothing that we have would escape, or nothing that they have of which we are aware would escape our sensors.
I guess now it's my turn to do a knowledge check. Like, just as Max reached into his mind for IO secrets, do I know anything about from Fenrir Court that might be relevant to this?
I'm gonna say give me a Yeah, give me Comtech, just like Harris did. Just
Okay.
Oh, I just did a Comtech because it was
Retroactive.
my straight wits.
right. Yeah, no, that's fair. But I'm gonna give. I mean, the success is pretty early on anyway. But Clarice, you are not aware of any. You're aware of some Fenrir tech that is intending to eventually get to a point where it can't be detected. And you know that particular branch is incredibly secret because it's a collaboration with, well, non-humans who are rather advanced at stealth technology. Probably Harris would know of this collaboration as well. Before the war started, there was a little bit of an endeavor on the part of Fenrir Corps and some other open-minded corporations to work with possible allies among the Newsguy and the rest.
Aha. And I'm like, so then I look at it, I'm like, what if it's not human? Could you detect Raster Newsguy tech as well?
She says the Newsguy are very unsubtle, although terrible. And
I imagine New Squad stealth tech is just going on the comms and be like, "You don't see
come
our
on.
ships. We have many
There
guns
got to
pointed
be
at you,
stealthy
and you do not see
Newsguy.
them."
They're all individuals. They just have
You're
really
right.
good stealth tech, but obviously not.
You're absolutely correct, and there could be Newsguy stealth technology of which we're not aware. By and large, however, the Newsguy are not incredibly subtle. The rest, on the other hand, I am aware that they are working on some highly advanced stealth technologies. But I can't imagine that they would have given that to the humans. They're neutral in this war.
Well, I happen to know that, there's a secretive branch of Fenrir Corp working with both alien species, so neutral may be a human level of neutral. That involves giving direct aid to one side or another.
We were working with the Rasts as well in the beginning of this conflict. They proposed some sort of, I suppose I probably shouldn't discuss anything further about that, but yes, you're correct. There could be something that we are not aware of at play here. I shall make note of that. And all of a sudden, there's a little bit of a bleeping on the screens as it is detected that another asteroid has entered orbit, and it burnt up really quickly. And she's like, that was close. And considering the lack of payload on that missile, suspicious. I suppose we should probably take some precautions. I can't imagine what would be in a payload of that sort that would burn up an atmosphere. A biological weapon? I know that you're, I
look at Carl Harris very meaningfully.
Biological weapons are kind of something that you do.
Wait, Carl, are you here or are you at the orgy?
I'm not at the orgy.
Carl's here.
Carl's here. He declined the orgy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well then I look meaningfully at you when she's like, I wonder what precautions we should take and what sort of payload it might be.
Well, I mean, I don't know. What precautions we should take? Well, I mean, check out the site, see if there's anything there. If there's not anything there, we could project a route based on the last trajectory, the trajectory of the missile before it exploded, and see where it would have gone and search along that route. If it goes down to ground, I don't know, send a team, check the site where it would have gone down to ground if it did indeed do that.
My sensors detect that it burnt up in orbit.
Well, if it's something that the sensors can't pick up, it could have easily released something stealthed when it broke apart. And then when it came back together and was blown up, that thing went on without it.
I'm beginning to think more and more.
Maybe it's just a homing beacon.
Oh, what a homing beacon accomplished for them. They already know where we are.
Well, I guess they know, but I mean, what's the asteroid doing? Like, maybe it's a target for something else. They don't waste missiles.
No, I don't think it's they don't know where to aim. It's that we have defenses up.
Yes, there
Whatever
are
it is we want
defenses.
it.
Right. So who's standing? I'm gonna say. Yeah, I can't think of how I would give anybody an observation on this. Okay. So yeah, you guys have essentially. All right. Cool. Yeah. No. So Commander Trent would say, "All right. Well, I'll dispatch a team to investigate. Does anybody want to volunteer for that, or would you like to stay here? I'm gonna go ahead and figure out amongst my crew who is most apt to do that. In the meantime, however, and she would take some of her people with her, and she'd be like, "Where's so and so and so forth? Fucking that orgy! What inopportune timing! Almost at the same time."
I'm
There's
like,
a strange incident.
I'm like, you know who's not having an orgy?
Interesting.
And I look over at the fucking handmaidens, and I'm like, you don't happen to have any, I don't know, drones lying around?
They would say, "Excuse me? What are you requesting here?"
Well,
It would be different ones.
it seems like, you know, we need some feet on the ground somewhere, and the feet attached to the thoraxes aren't presently at an orgy right now, is what I'm saying.
Affirmative. Go on.
Do you have drones to send with us?
Hell.
Oh, well,
Kind of confused. Why do we need drones on our intelligence mission of specialists?
I don't know. They just seem cool. I always wanted to, like, touch my forehead and be like, drone, eat that man.
Wait, you said eat that man or yeet that
They're like,
man?
this is
I would-
offensive.
I'm like, both.
Noble goals.
I'm like, I'm sorry. I haven't learned a lot about your culture that is not from propaganda reels. So, I guess you don't touch your foreheads when you give them psychic commands.
You need some education on Mariah physiology. Let me be right back. And she would go off screen for a second and come up with an ambassador of sorts, who I'm going to drop on the board because of course I am, because I'm obsessed with introducing new characters. And the ambassador was
with
like,
visual
"Hello."
aids for humans who are dumb.
I'm like, yes, hello.
I brought a manual.
Please, teach me.
Hello,
it's
humans are
great.
easily distracted, so I brought this shiny toy for you to play with while I educate you.
Teach me how to command the drones.
Well, first off, you have to be a Mirai. Second off, she would give you like a rudimentary education on
Amazing.
Mirai physiology,
I'm assuming
treating you basically as a baby.
So
I already have
are
advanced
we-
education on Mariah physiology.
Are the players actually going to be the team
Downloading
here,
genocide
or
notes.
is Commander Trent going to handle that?
Hey, Commander Trent said that we could go if we wanted.
Yeah, Commander Trent says, "All right, so mission mission here is to go to the likely trajectory of the asteroid to find out what potentially hazardous materials it could have been carrying. Everybody suit up, make sure that we're not breathing the air, because I know that the humans are notorious for creating biological weapons. We don't want to spread any diseases. We don't want what happened to the moose token to happen to us." She'd be.
Is the whole plan to attack is that just on pause? We're just like
Well,
putting a pin in that and coming back to that?
Pause. We weren't going to attack today to gather all the fleets and
Right.
then move in that
Yeah.
direction. It'll probably take us like a week to
Yeah.
get there.
Yeah.
So I think this night was going to be
Mhm.
recreational, except for this problem.
Yeah.
So if you
Yes.
want to go to the org, we're invited.
There is an orgy going on.
If there's an orgy,
And
we're
it's,
not going to
boys only.
immediately attack.
I see.
I'm gonna say, yeah, this is the potential trajectory of the asteroid here. Sorry, this is a little bit of a strange tangent.
that's true. I mean, if this isn't like supposed to be a thing, we could just be like, oh, I guess we didn't find anything in the investigation and go on.
Well, that's what she's going to find. She mentioned a couple times how strange it is that the orgy was going on right now and how short-staffed she is. But
Like,
you know, she would come out
interesting.
here.
So
And,
Captain
and,
Khan
they
isn't there when the
to
battle
a,
happens. Dustline is boyfriend to distinguish himself. Captain Khan is in the middle of orgies when suspicious human technology or possibly, alien technology comes. Well,
yeah, so she says, yeah, it is rather strange. I thought I had somebody on that, actually. Come to think of it, didn't you have some sort of proposal to investigate his behavior of late?
yeah, I mean, isn't tonight the night where he's supposed to have a potential meeting? I assume the orgy is covered for it, but sadly, due to my gender, I gesture to my breasts. I'm ineligible from attending.
Indeed, if only there was a male member of this party who was interested in engaging in orgiastic behaviors with Captain Khan
Wait, this is
suss out.
I could attend.
What did you say? Lee?
Seriously, Max, are
So,
you not going to go?
I was gonna ask.
Oh,
It's a male-only
yeah. I
orgy,
mean, I'll
but
go
then I
for it.
remembered that it is a like the men getting together for an orgy is like a Threaten tradition or whatever.
Yes, it's a bonding exercise, community bonding.
I'll go for it. I do want to keep an eye on him. And I was actually considering not going on the mission because I feel like Clarice is better suited to the stuff I would be doing anyway.
I'm like, don't worry,
Yeah, and
Carl.
also, Captain Trent directly asked you to keep an eye on him earlier.
Indeed.
And Ma's like, don't worry,
Alright,
Carl.
so-
I'll keep a close eye on you while you're keeping a close eye on him.
Do I have to do either?
I'm going to put everybody
No.
who's not you do not have to be there. It is, of course,
Lucian, do you try and
I'm
find
not
an
gonna say
ATM that will accept the daddy's credit card?
I assume everything just accepts it, doesn't it?
I mean, this is no longer a human empire subsidiary, so you won't find any acceptance of that transactional material here. Let me find and one more control copy.
I mean, shit, money's money. It doesn't matter what political organization you care
So
about.
the issue is that credit
I
cards
mean,
aren't
I think
money.
it might if you're, warring nations who don't recognize other people's currency, especially cryptocurrency, involved digital transfer from a bank that they don't want to connect to.
Nah.
Yeah, that's kind of the pretty much. The
What do
gist of
you mean? It's a magic card that just lets me get whatever I want. What are you talking about?
It's my money card.
Yeah.
I
Oh, look at
swipe
this.
it, and then money falls from the sky.
Wow, I love their organization
I did.
skills.
it. Yeah, it's an orgy room. What do you expect? Kyle's like,
Oh
oh,
my
hey,
God.
you made it.
So you didn't make the war room, but
the
you
orgy
did room.
It's bad.
Is anyone surprised by that?
No. I love how the orgy wait, real quick. I love how the orgy room just has just walls of windows.
Looks like it's also a classroom or security
Yeah.
room during the day, but at night.
I mean, implicitly it is up a little bit, so they're more looking down at the surrounding terrain. You have to be a little bit far away to see them on the ground,
Beautiful.
getting busy.
Indeed.
Well,
Indeed.
might as well
So-
dive in.
And then there's a little tiny models of the Friend fleet right there.
And Mata's like, allow me to hold your beverage, sir.
Ah, yes. I see you're in the room as well. Excellent.
Allow me to-
excellent.
allow me to introduce
Pile in the
myself.
foyer corner where they cheer people on.
Yes. So Kyle's coordinating refreshments and stuff. They've got espresso machines and
Wow.
beverages
I
and
actually
flowers and
might
things
wanna
over here.
Imada go on the mission to check out the
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah, that's.
Oh yeah. That's
All right,
all going on.
Yeah, so
on
you
site.
have eyes there?
Yes.
Alright, and Mata's gonna be like,
Yeah,
alright,
so-
boss, I'm gonna go keep an eye on things. Wink.
Yes, and none of you. I'm gonna say, Carl, since you're probably not really here for the orgy, give me an observation +3, because you're looking
Well,
for
you know.
something.
one can enjoy their work.
Yeah, well, yes, naturally not.
In that case, +2.
Plus,
I'm gonna push back.
Yeah,
I'm
go
gonna-
for
Wow,
it, go for it.
girl.
As you are yourself pushed around, and
Wow.
It's like
distracted.
Joe.
That's more like
Excellent.
it.
The file
Yeah,
writing
no,
ring.
Hey.
You notice something popping out of the atmosphere very briefly. It is very camouflaged against the terrain. It looks like
I recognize
Wow.
that design.
Oh my
it's a
god.
Rastian shuttle.
It is. It's a Rast ship.
And it
Rastian
parks
Sea
inside-
Dragon.
It parks inside this conveniently located garage underneath this convenient office that's off to the side. Crazy how that works. And Captain Khan says, "Whew! Oh man, I need a breather. Ooh, give me a sec, guys. Wearing me out here." And he puts on his jacket, but nothing else. And he walks
Wow.
Respect.
into
The
this
captain has
office.
no secrets from the ambassador, he says, getting out of the tub.
Me and the boys.
walks out of the main room and into this conveniently located office off to the side. Harris, what do you do when that happens?
Well, clearly I want to keep an eye on what's going on in that office. But, if I step away, that might be a bit conspicuous. So I gotta think about something.
Go to the bathroom.
Mhm.
The bathroom door has
Bring
clear
someone to make out
visual.
with you in a corner nearby. Have a private
Bathroom
party.
door
or
has a
something.
clear visual
This
on
looks
the
like it's
on the
glass
windows.
here. Is that correct?
That is correct.
I didn't hear if you said something
Yes,
bad. I get your
she
audio.
confirmed.
Yes.
I'm assuming there's some sort of shade over it or some such, though, right?
There are shades, yes. They have not yet been drawn.
Okay, I want to see if I can talk a couple of these individuals to joining me in some activities in which I may become pressed up against the glass, if it were.
Wow.
All right.
Okay, well,
Give me a
thank
manipulate.
you. Is it one-sided glass?
No,
What,
they
so
will
the-
see him.
I'm
but
assuming
Yeah,
they'll
let's see.
keep the.
5 each.
I'm assuming they'll keep the shades closed because it's a secret meeting, right?
oh, that's
So I
true.
just listen at the glass.
Okay, yeah. Give me a
Manipulation.
give me a manipulation roll, please. Yes.
All right.
Excellent. So yeah, you get a couple of the guys to join you over here. Let's see. Let's go with 3 of them. And yeah. So the lines are drawn, and wouldn't you know it, you hear a voice that does not sound human. In fact,
My
it is
God.
distinctly Rastian in accent.
He's a
Whoa.
bartender.
It's the bartender.
I didn't know we were gonna get the bartender's
It
secret
means
origin.
Khan.
This
John.
whole thing was just a very elaborate booty call. I'm gonna be pissed.
Captain Khan sits down in his desk, and from behind the screen, but you can hear it. He would say, "I'm assuming you've arranged for everything to be that is at play to be at play." And you hear, and rest assured, the club of which I'm, an ambassador, is more than interested in your proposed governance structure, and we've even offered you know who, you know what. And Captain Khan's like, yes, you spoke to Marsh. Wonderful. What did she say? And you hear, well, she said yes, of course. The Rastian Raidu is strong, my friend. And he's like, I know. That's why we're in this closed meeting.
And then he
And,
slowly
and-
takes off of his jacket.
I mean, yeah, An hour later, they're finished fucking. No, yeah.
All right. Well,
So,
before
they
it
have-
looks like they're wrapping up, I'm definitely got to get out of there so I'm not up against the glass when they get out of the meeting.
Yeah, no, it takes them a while. They discuss finer points and stuff, and you get the impression that this certain Marsh character is referenced a lot, and she's potentially interested in some sort of massive deal that has been negotiated by the Rasts with Khan's assistance, apparently. Gets around.
Very, very interesting. That is some good info.
Yeah, and so he would say, "Are you going to be okay getting out? I do believe we caught wind of your missile. Wait, was he right there for that? I don't know.
I think he already left for the
he was
orgy.
in this room already. Yeah, by the time.
Yeah, I think he was already gone. Yeah, so are you good to be to get out? I'm sure the Thren would not appreciate finding you here." And he's like, "Oh, I've got my ways. Don't worry. Wrath's stealth technology is far more advanced than yours, and more advanced than the Thren's stealth technology too, I might add. They don't tend to develop surreptitious technologies like we do."
But not more advanced than this one Noose guy I met, like deep in Noose guy space, whose entire purpose was just appearing next to Noose guy ships and irritating them.
That is actually diegetic dialogue that James has delivered from this guy's voice. Sounds like, okay. Excellent. I will rejoin this orgy. I'm having a lot of fun.
All right, at this point,
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, things are wrapping up. Before he gets out, I would try to transition my group.
And
Elsewhere.
no, that guy just
Either back into the pile or
Onto
like,
the
you know,
computers.
into the
Where to?
computers.
yeah. Excellent. There's a lot of human propaganda about why the Thren should not be talked to in civilized tones because they're dirty, degenerate sex mongers. And you knock over the monitor as it says.
Fucking on the posters that say Thren are sex fiends, demon sex fiends.
I mean, yeah, no.
I feel like that's a really
Definitely.
weird propaganda tactic for the human empire, but
They're pretty prudish, so it makes sense. And Kyle's
Did
just
you
like,
want
some more coffee? Oh my, I got some cream on me. Oh no, I better wash that off. And Captain Khan comes in here and rejoins the cuddle puddle, and everything's okay. He doesn't suspect a thing. Totally. Yeah, so this probably lasts a little bit longer. But it was indeed a cover of sorts for a secret meeting you found. So, Carl, after, the whole thing dies down and a couple people are like, yeah, I gotta go do some things. And it looks like the party's more or less gonna break apart, and Khan's just like, yeah, I gotta go do some things too. I'm a captain after all. Captain of things, yeah. How would you like to extract yourself, Carl?
well,
What do you do?
well, yeah. Once Khan leaves, I'm going to, politely excuse myself from the festivities.
Yeah, there's not that many people left over, and you get a couple numbers, but for the most part, it's pretty much done.
Make sure you thank Kyle for his help.
Yeah, make vague promises.
Yeah,
get
Kyle's
extracted
doing
from,
his
if you catch my drift.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna go speak with a certain Thren commander. I think I might have some stuff to say to.
Amazing. All right.
Well-
So.
This will be fun.
Indeed, and I move you back to the less fleshed out map.
Yes, I believe I have. I always forget her name, Commander.
I'm just
Trent.
God, I went into this totally. Trent,
was
the
horny
least,
while making
yeah. Well, hey, I wasn't horny. This was all part of a plan. And while this is happening, of course, and in Mata Leish has been educated on Mirai biology, in a much different sense than Harris has been educated on Thren biology, and everybody in general kind of is around.
I'm like, wow, that's so cool. You can really convey some pretty complicated commands if you've got the right stuff, huh? And she says, examining the fine chitin of the handmaidens.
Yeah, and she's like, please do not touch me. Your hands are dirty. You must wash yourself first. Clarice, you and Commander Trent. Oh, sorry.
And Mata would just sort of like be taken aback and be like, wow. She like sniffs herself. She's like, am I dirty? Wow, I gotta go freshen up.
Please.
I'm like, wow, okay. Well, I mean, let me just go wash up then. I mean, I'm coming back to feel the chitin though.
I do have some moist towelettes that I could provide you in these trying times.
Oh, hit me with that shit.
Fleshy
Yeah,
ones and their weird obsession with touching.
Her assistant washes you down and ensures that you are clean. And then she's like, "Okay, this is very irregular, but I will let you touch my carapace."
I poke it a little, and I'm like, fascinating. Thank you. Now that being said,
Okay.
So the fight. You are obviously intending to back them up with a significant fleet. Do you
Yes.
have any? So you would. For drones to function, an aristocrat would have to be nearby. Or
Affirmative.
use some other method. Do you have... Well, there's an aristocrat or two, several aboard the Hell's Heart. Are they going to ride in with us?
Yes. So there is a force that has been selected to join the Hell's Heart in order to ensure that its engines are working properly, as they did not want to expend human forces on such a task. And we thought it best to provide a unified force on the inside. They will be joining you, yes. We do have representatives here from a number of hives, one of whom has a rather interesting concept surrounding, and then this woman would step in and say, we have these things called marines. They're like human marines, except for they're much deadlier and they penetrate the hulls. I can engage you in a further conversation. However, we have recently retired the commanding officer who proposed this due to bloodlust.
Bloodlust? That sounds like a great plan. I mean, are you sure it wasn't just efficiency?
Oh my god, was it PhD?
Yeah, we recently retired her. Her name was, da-da-da-da-da.
Passion, hope, denial.
And, Passion, hope, denial, yes. And she had some very interesting ideas, which our queen saw as very useful in the beginning of the war, but now that the conflict is becoming a lot closer to, well, peaceful resolution, and we are communicating with each other with words on occasion, we feel that her methods are a tad extreme.
Yeah, I imagine, peppering your enemy's hull with explosive decompressions and then sending your men in that way, women in this case, would be effective, but also probably high casualty on the side of the humans. I mean, wow, if we'd hit the Ajax with that, woohoo, they would have been sucked out into space, which would have been terrible, and of course is a great loss of human life. Your queen is most wise. I see in her infinite wisdom she has changed her tactics to a more, who are you sending with us?
We're trying to talk to people now.
I see.
Because we realize that we can. It's great. Communication. It's all about the talk.
And Mata,
on the subject of all of it. Sorry.
And Mata's like, oh, wait, hold on. Didn't Carl tell me to go on a mission?
Yeah, I did.
I'm like, oh,
So,
wow, I lost track of the time. I'll have to catch up with you on this, but I believe duty calls.
So yes, you and Ritter and Trent,
So you're
you
dying
do
bad.
area adjacent to the order room. Sorry?
Your internet is like shitting myself tonight. I don't know why.
Fuck, yeah, no, it's been shitting itself since my mom got back. I'm really sorry about that. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so, yeah, you did not notice the stealth craft on its way out, but you do get to the the point where the asteroid, as you assumed it was intended to collide, and you notice that there is no indication that anything fell to the ground. How long do you stay there? That might, or actually, you know what? No, fuck that. Give me an observation, Clarice Ritter, and in modelage.
And Horner isn't coming with us?
Oh, is Horner coming with you guys? No.
I'm gonna re-roll that.
Sorry, Horner. I feel like I've done nothing for you today. I'm very apologetic about that. Even your girlfriend's not here.
Shit.
Okay. Clarice, with your stress, you do notice something, and so does Inmata. You notice some, Oh yeah, it's in here. You notice a little bit of a smoke-like structure forming and then unforming, and a garage door opening and closing over here at the office. Aside from that, you don't notice anything else.
That opened and closed. What was that? Is there any way I can make the sensors more sensitive, or I guess like look for something that they're not accustomed to looking for? Like, what did they even look for?
The sensors, well, there's a number of metrics. We look for heat, sonar, or like reflections of metal and such. And she would list on a number of things that the sensors detect for, and she would be like, I don't know what to say. I usually they're excellent at picking up and use our
so
motion
let's
sensors,
assume
but not
perfect
getting anything.
locate. Like, is there a way to see an absence? Can I like look at the air makeup or something?
That is actually a rather intelligent concept. We could perhaps ascertain the absence of something that should be there. Brilliant. So yeah, no, you can. If you give me a contact.
Yeah, I'm gonna just like shoving aside. Well, slightly nudging aside the person who normally does sensors to play with them, fulfill my specific vision.
Beautiful, beautiful. So yeah, it's a little bit of a translational thing, considering you've got Thren tech that you're working with, but you managed to make it work. And you notice all of a sudden the absence of oxygen and other key components of the atmosphere in a trajectory that is flying right over your heads. It is a small.
There it is.
Yeah, exactly. It is a small craft, and it is flying right over you. And suddenly, Trent would get a beep on her thing and say, "There's another. It seems like we're detecting fire in the atmosphere. Something's leaving."
Hold on, wait. So like, I got 2 hits on my observation, right? Do I see anything other than the smoke?
Yeah, no, that was you. Yeah, no, you didn't. You actually, yeah, I'm gonna say you saw through the window here. Khan and Kyle and Harris kind of sneaking out through this window, and you notice maybe the faintest glimpse of a silhouette before the smoky fog sort of the structure that was there. Sorry, I'm explaining this poorly, but like imagine Predator cloaking technology.
No, Inmata would see all of this and let Clarice do the talking.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and so it's flown right over you, and it's now re-entering the atmosphere.
I mean, this is up to Commander Trent. Like, I'm not in charge here.
She would say, well, I don't think we can pinpoint it enough to shoot it down, but let's get back to the main control and see if we can try.
I'm like, alternatively, rather than shooting it down, we could, board it. If they came here and left... If they came here and left, then what are the odds that they came here for nothing? They probably got something on that. Or delivered something.
We could at least
I'd
figure
be
out
more
why
interested
they're here.
Indeed, you and I are thinking of the same on the same mindset.
I mean, it's got to. I mean, that like was so well executed. Of course, they could have done the stealth themselves at the garage. Implies, a collaborator.
Indeed, and I believe you and I both are of the same mind as to who that very well might be, considering what room it was coming from.
Indeed.
Kyle.
Coming being the operative word.
It was Kyle! So,
It turns out in the end, Kyle has been a traitor working for the
We
Human
confront-
Empire this whole time.
We confront him, and he's like, "Did I do that?"
I've never actually seen the film or TV show from which this character is taken, so I don't know if that's a reference to it or not.
I haven't seen
haven't,
it either,
but it is.
that is a thing he does.
Yeah, it's just the one famous line.
Amazing. So yes, Commander Trent would be very interested in seeing what has transpired, and you following her presumably, and her entourage and Inmata. You bump into Khan in the cafeteria, and she would say, "Khan, we need to talk."
Well, not exactly a subtle one, is she?
And at that moment, Carl Harris probably pop in too.
I'd probably pop in, a little bit bow-legged.
I think Kyle would pop in
Please
afterwards.
raise an eyebrow.
Yeah, there's like a whole line of people exiting that room. No. So, I suppose it is time for the Party X Con X Carl Harris X Clarice Ritter conversation. X Commander Trent.
So the party X, two party members in particular, X conversation.
I have a question. What is Devin Horner doing during this time?
Yeah, no, I have the same question. Devin Horner, are you
But-
okay, cool.
I'm honestly not really sure. Horner would be very lost in all this like kind of planning and a lot of administrative things going on. There's a lot of things moving. Horner's a more like a simple like, all right, put me in a pilot seat, let me take you to places. What?
Well,
Doesn't have a lot of foresight for planning.
there's an atmosphere. Like, so this is like a functional. They're still running the terraforming project, right? Pat? Did Pat freeze when I asked that question?
She looks frozen to me.
So, yes,
You know-
if I recall correctly, they are.
You
yeah.
know the part of Shenmue where he races the forklifts? That, but like, productive. I don't know. Oh shit, we lost Pat.
Yep. I think she had to
Oof.
leave to hopefully refresh it. Of course, this means the screens will be messed up again.
Actually, as long as she's last in is fine. I think.
Cool.
You're muted, but you're back.
Yeah, screen's good.
Sorry about that. I heard racing forklifts.
No, I was asking, is this a functional atmospheric facility? Because if so, Devin would probably
Yes.
notice just like the normal people of Cornucopia going about their day, doing normal normal people of
Yeah.
insert colony here,
New Roanoke.
New
doing
What
new
happened to
Roanoke
Neo
things.
Roanoke?
You
You don't want to know.
in the core systems. Yeah, you don't want to know. Anyway, yeah, no, you would. Yeah, so Horner, if you don't want to engage in any of this intrigue that's developing, you would probably take a side and this is not the Admiral, by the way. You would notice like a couple of normal people going about their normal business here in the colony, and you might even get a chance to interact with them if you want. There's there's a couple people who are working in the logistics side of things. Sorry, there's some like logistics people who are manning the operations. Wow, a lot of logistics people dropped all at once. And yeah, if you were to enter one of these side rooms, you'd probably, these are like the beds. This is like a logistics-y area. You definitely encounter a couple people who are working and trying to continue building the new Neo Roanoke that they had planned on building under the Human Empire, but are now building new because this one's like far too dramatic for this kind of conversation. Yeah, let me go to. Yeah, so Horner, you take a side seat, presumably, right?
Yeah.
So where would you head throughout the facility? You're given free range, and you are without your anchor, which is to say, on.
Such a rude way to refer to his lady love.
I mean, if
Anchor
there's
is
no
far
like,
nicer than lady love. Without the air beneath your wings, indeed. Yeah, how would you interact?
I mean, if
with
there's
these
no
normal
immediate need for like assistance on anything like on hand, I would definitely gravitate towards the hangar and just start studying the ship. Maybe set up the remote. I can't remember what it's called. The PR put uplink terminal,
Okay.
and just kind of like get an easier access to one of
Ooh.
the ships to remote access it, and just kind of wiggling my way in to make it my ship.
Yeah, there's actually a hangar to the
Mm.
south here that you guys didn't. Oh, you want to check out the strike ship over here? I got you. Yeah, so you actually return to the first page. I've got a whole page for you. Let me drop you on that New Neo Roanoke page here, and yeah, you return to this main page here and fuddle around with the strike ship, and you know, these people are all doing their normal thing, and you know, there would be a couple of engineers out here working on it, and let's see. I want to here engineers. Yeah. All right. Actually, yeah. Why not? So, you know, this landed here not very long ago, and there's more landing pads farther out here. But this is a big. I don't know if I clarified this well, but this is a big power line that goes off in a grid throughout most of New Neo Roanoke. It's a very large grid. And yeah, so a couple of the engineers are working on it, and notably, there's a Thren engineer who's working on this as well.
A Threngineer,
Yes,
if you will.
Yes, we all thought of that immediately, I think.
Thren engineer.
I was waiting,
None
I
of
was
us were gonna
waiting
say
for
it,
you to make that.
None of these are good as my are as good as my Threnocide though.
I don't know what you're referring
That's
to,
just
but
what you call
I
it.
will continue on. Oh my god, you changed the name. I hate you so much, Lee. Fuck you.
No, I'll fix it.
Anyway, though.
Oh God, why?
No. Please, keep it. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Yikers.
Oh, you're wait, what? Three oh god, years.
It's worse now.
This is worse.
Mm-hmm.
This is worse. Yeah, she looks over at you, Devin, and she says, "You're part of the new crew, right?" Yeah, Devin. She you know, she's trying to make small. Hello.
Hello?
Fuck. Am
What's
I
up?
frozen
I can hear you,
again?
but you're
No,
kind
you're
of in
good.
and out.
No, you're good.
It's spotty.
Yeah, I'm
And your,
sorry.
camera
This is
output.
really
Your video's not great, but
yeah. So she comes over to you and says, "You're part of the new crew, right? The strike force that's going to get all the way to Ichthus Station and finally take it back, or finally take it."
Yeah, I'm part of the group that's supposed to go down and make it safe for everyone to come in.
Good. I can't wait for this conflict to be over. It's been a hellish 10 couple years.
I mean, it's not
She
gonna be over
says
with
she's
just
working
this.
on the No, you're right. But this is going to be a big step. It's going to change a lot of lives, hopefully. I've heard that there's going to be some sort of new government or something in the frontier that people are talking about. I personally don't think it's going to pan out all that well, because last time humans tried governing themselves, well, it hasn't worked out so, from what I can tell.
Well, that's how the Empire started. It was a new form of government to, unite the people. So, I don't have high hopes.
Well, I'm hoping that, maybe something can happen this time. Maybe some new force introduced will allow this to be a more fruitful governance structure. I
Like
think
a
that our
trifecta of
two
governments.
yes, I think our government's going to try working very closely with your new government to make sure that this doesn't happen again. The killing, brutal slaughters of people, not just individuals, but an entire people wiped out. And, from what I can tell, plans to do the same to a number of other species. It's just been, well, I've been working with these New Roanoke colonists, and this guy would be like, "Hey, what's up?" And she would say, "I've been working with them, and strike me as people who would do such terrible things just from knowing a couple of you." It seems
The mass of people aren't the problem. It's the people in power that are problems.
wrong that a governance under which normal people
Clarify, Pat.
I certainly hope that changing the people in power changes the people themselves.
Okay.
But, what do I know? I'm just an engineer. What?
So like
Can you try to say something?
it
Wait, you there?
sounded like the engineer's response to what Devin said was wrong.
There's internet
But-
connection for once.
But like in context, it sounds like the engineer agreed.
Anybody hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Yes,
Yeah.
Hmm.
I put the details in chat.
Yeah, it was just
You may
essentially
not be
how
hearing
your
us.
statement
The
wrong was delayed until around the end of
Yeah, no.
Shin's reply, and so it sounded weird.
Alright, sorry about that, guys. My internet's really shitting itself. It's not allowing me to do didactic dialogue as well as I normally would tonight. Let me just go ahead and make things brief and call it maybe an early close. But anyway, there's God, the Alien RPG, or sorry, the Roll20 is not even letting me do things. But anyway, basically, there's going to be a meeting between everybody except for, I guess, Horner, and who's repairing the ship and have conversations with an who's, hopeful, but not necessarily, as informed as everybody else. And you guys are all going to Lee. Can you move us to the? Yeah, actually, let me do it right here. All right. So the overview of the factory. Yeah, I got it. Yep. So, you guys are all in a room with Captain Gunn. He was just walked away from a rather sticky situation.
Kind of stumble into this room, see them all
Okay,
staring
well, so
at each other, like
Captain-
pointing at us like the two Spider-Mans, and I'm like, oh no.
Man, it is. Yeah.
Okay, they're not pointing, but yeah, basically Commander Trent said we need to talk to Khan, and then
Alright.
Max walks in, so I assume you asked for a private conversation with Commander
Well,
Trent?
didn't Commander Trent walk into the room and say, Khan, we need to talk? And then I walked in.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you guys negotiate a private conversation. Who wants to speak to whom and when and where? I'm only catching half of the things that you say because my internet is literally a hell space.
You guys can /me
I'm trying to
space to put
get
in
onto
the
that.
chat, and we can like narrate for the stream's benefit, but have Pat know.
All right, I'm gonna. I
Wait,
wanna see
here,
if-
actually, I think I'm on the 5G, so this might change things now. Alright.
Oh my god, is
Yes,
this the
the
power
future
of
is now.
5G?
Alright.
Are you gonna get
I
the
can-
corona from it?
Okay, so I think I've got a better connection now. So, all right, you get the hand signal. You done been snatched. All right, who else? Who's trying to negotiate what? Can you repeat what you said earlier when I was fiddling with the Wi-Fi?
I mean, I just probably want to whisper in Commander Trent's ear a summary of like, hey, here's I spied on a conversation.
Mhm.
Like I don't even think I
Yes,
need
you
to
whisper
I just
in
need
her
to be
very-
like piss. Here's what I heard.
Mm-hmm. She says, interesting. Very useful information. So, let's see. I'm gonna put you guys on adjacent sides of Captain Khan. Captain Khan, from what I'm informed, you've had some dalliances of a variety apart from our governance structure, or apart from our wartime alliance structure. Is this the case? And Khan would say, I haven't the faintest idea what you're talking about.
And I'm going to be like, oh, so the Rast ship we caught and the Rast who said that he just met you was not happening? Like, I'm obviously bluffing. I'm just guessing between Rast and Newscoin. I assume Rast.
Give me a
Good
manipulate.
assumption.
A manipulate, I assume?
Mhm.
Manipulation, yeah.
Wait, what? Damn bastard said he would. Ha 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 ha. I can explain. So I had some talks with a frontier human settlement that has been very, very closely engaged in conversations with the Rast, and they have a unique proposal that I was hearing out, but doesn't probably pan out the way that it's going to, or the way that they hope it will. So, it was an unfruitful conversation, but it had to happen. It just had to happen at this juncture. So whatever he told you, I'm sure I can explain everything.
At this point, I'll step up and be like, it isn't how the conversation sounded.
I see. Well, what did it sound like happened to you? Maybe you misheard.
No, I had a very open ear to that conversation, and let's just say that
He's like
it's-
winking at you aggressively, like.
Yeah, I stare him in the eyes. I'm like looking at his stupid winking face, and I'm like, I heard everything. Like unproductive my ass.
I see.
I'm like, you see, Khan? I jerk my thumb at Carl. This is what you get for siding with IO.
Okay,
More
let's slow
importantly,
down there.
you thought you could keep a secret from the fleshy one who spies on people in the bathroom? That's just silly. He
Seems
spent an
I've been,
entire week-long trip just spying on people in the bathroom.
I would like to make it clear that the only place on that ship I wasn't spying on was the bathroom.
You can say that as much as you want. I don't believe you.
Lucian steps up. What
Sorry.
does Lucian have to say?
No,
Oh, sorry.
Keep going. I was just trying to move my
Yeah.
token like a little closer to the situation.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. Khan says, seems I've been beaten in my own game. I suppose you've got me, cards in hand. Look, I just need reassurances that my governance is going to be a stable one when I take over things. When all this settles down, I'm going to need allies on my side. Not just the Thran. I'm going to need to be speaking with the community at large of this galaxy. Don't you see? I'm going to have to converse with the Rast, with the Newsguy, with the Mirai, with the Thran. Yes, everybody. If I'm going to help form a stable human governance after this, I need to bring everybody, all the peoples of the galaxy, together to the table so that I can figure out what's best for my people. Don't you understand? It's just politics.
And who's Marsh?
Oh. Well,
And I'm like, oh, would that be Vice Admiral Marsh, who ordered the retreat from New Roanoke?
I knew the name ringed a bell. I kept thinking a bog or swamp-like area, but, there was something else that was definitely triggering my thoughts there other than that.
can we speak in private? There are very sensitive matters here that I do not want the general public. He would look over to Meat and Adams and Inmata and honestly also Ritter.
So, like, everyone but me and Trent.
Yes, there are things that I do not want the general public knowing about arrangements that may or may not have been made beforehand.
What? You got something to hide?
Just like deep fingers looks angelic.
Inmata has sketched
Legally
like
speaking,
Inmata
I don't
has
even have
sketched
rights
like
to
a
the person.
5 wide by 5 square grid, and she turns it around, and at the top it says bingo, and the center space is Admiral Marsh defects, and she's like, "Am I on a good start?"
Yes. Yes. I have had negotiations with the Rast. They proposed a very large sum of money. It is transacted.
Okay.
That would enable Marsh to settle down somewhere in my new government.
Oh wow!
She's willing to do this out of the kindness of her own heart and wallet. So
You mean a non-lethal solution cooperating with other species that results in less people dying? I look at it. I look at Commander Trent. And I'm like, Commander Trent, are we on board with this?
And
says-
then, like, you mean a solution that allows yet another powerful human, military member to basically secure their own power base?
Yay!
she says, "This doesn't sound safe."
I have two
my-
words to get everyone hyped for this. Space Balkans. Space Balkans, Space Balkans, Space Balkans. I'm hyped. I'm hyped for the Space Balkans.
I have my
love the
doubts.
Space Balkans.
I have my doubts that Marsh will ever work with a united force on our side. I've heard things about her that indicate that she is, well, to put it lightly, violently racist. And I have my sincerest doubts that she will ever capitulate or even come to the table if Thran are involved. And I have my sincere doubts that Khan gives a fuck or gives a deek. Khan, this is entirely, you had no authority to do this. You're a deeking captain of a carrier. What are you playing at here? And Khan's like, that's not what I intend to be after this settles down. don't screw this up for me, and I won't screw up the Battle of Roanoke, or Battle of Ictus Station. She says, you're not really in a position to negotiate. And he says, I am.
Man, I think this guy was going for the whole like, oh, I just want to be a gentleman farmer after this. Everyone shall sit under their own vine.
Yeah, that was clear bullshit.
I mean, to be fair, he wants to be George Washington. Yeah, I just want to retire in peace to own my slaves on my plantation and run the government.
He just wants his own fig tree. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fig tree. Yeah, he says, look, you need me, and I need you. We're in this together.
And I look at Commander Trenton like, so do we need him? I mean, is there no one else capable of commanding a carrier?
He looks at you and says, well, don't you guys have a highly trained pilot who was supposed to do this if things turned south? And then she looks straight at Khan. Meanwhile, on another page.
Another page. Our pilot casually hangs out.
Our gentleman pilot is having a polite conversation with the threat engineer.
I mean, does Devin
like the
finish?
Mark II spanner? Come on, like, don't you have like the Mark V? Like the Mark V is the most up-to-date one in there now.
No
We
kidding.
see our humble hero with ring is about to be thrust upon him.
I do enjoy how, like, just a moment ago, I talked about how Horner is like a simple-minded and like doesn't have the foresight for planning, and all of this is gonna be pushed.
And we're like, hey, you know who should command a super carrier?
Meat.
One
No,
wonders.
worst idea.
Vice Admiral Horner.
Oh god,
Amazing.
this will be great.
Yeah, so, I mean, honestly, that was such a beautiful cliffhanger that I almost want to end it right now. But
I mean,
there's...
sure. Shit, there's only 10 minutes till we normally end.
Yeah, so, how is this gonna resolve here? He's looking pretty shifty, and he's like, this is not going how I planned. Where's Ambassador Salt?
I'm like, Admiral Khan, what is your effective deployment efficiency? How many Thren and Mariah ships did you destroy while you were in charge?
Technically, we've probably destroyed most of those ships.
That's all public
Oh, unless you
knowledge.
meant in the actual battle.
No, he's talking about Khan's war record, which is that's all public knowledge. The Thren and Mariah knew this when I offered to take this position.
I'm like, no, exactly. I'm arguing in your favor. Between me and the massive elimination automatic technology here, I'm sure we can compute the most efficient captain. We'll just, Carl, pull up the numbers, and whoever kills the most people when they're in charge of super carriers gets the job. That's how we decide things in this organization, right? The most effective killer.
We also
He does pull up the
for
numbers
the people
though,
not be traitors.
I'm like, well,
That's
you know,
right. That's
from
fine.
a certain perspective, and then I look meaningfully between you and Ritter and Khan. From a certain perspective, I'm adding a space to the bingo square.
God damn it. Yeah, he pulls up his record though, and he says, "Look, I have very effectively captained this ship for a prolonged period of this war. It's not a record of which I am proud, but it is evidence that I am efficient at what I do." And she says, "Yes, you are very efficient at killing Thren and Marai forces." She would look over at Clarice Ritter and say, "Again, you have a captain, right?
Well,
If we have
No.
to."
the captain perished in an
decided to ride
incident.
a
I
nuke.
have a skill, and I am a comtech genius who knows the ship inside and out.
Look,
I've studied strategy, military strategy.
Khan, you're in
And
no
I'm just
position.
a genius at everything.
Overall genius.
Because nothing could go wrong putting me in charge.
Your position here is far less strong than you believe it to be. Are you certain you want to be negotiating with such a strong force of will here, or would you rather sit down and contemplate what the government that you're proposing is actually going to end up looking like when things settle down and everything pans out, as you put it? Because I, for one, do not look forward to meeting Vice Admiral Marsh anywhere aside from the battlefield.
I don't know. The Balkans were a really fun place to be at during that.
I'm alright. I'm not gonna say anything because I feel so too much.
No, that's fine. Yeah. So he's looking thoroughly emasculated. And definitely brought down to a level with everybody else here. His power plays having been, to an extent, at least discovered and worked through and brought to light. Blah 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 blah. I'm babbling and reiterating myself. That said, because of everything and because I think this is a decent place to stop for the night, I'm going to say that let's end the session here, and we shall commence the battle next session.
Wait, hold on. So have we actually resolved that, like, we were putting, like, Devin Horner in charge, like...
Not yet.
I think Devin Horner is probably going to be part of the strike force still.
Mm-hmm.
Am I wrong?
Yeah. I mean, can we put Han in charge? She seems pretty loyal to the cause.
She definitely would be. Yeah.
And I mean, she wasn't like originally serving under Khan. She just joined up with him after. So yeah, I know we put Han in charge of the ship.
Mana wants to know that KD spread.
Amazing. Yeah. So Han would be an excellent person to secure the bridge and make sure that Khan doesn't do anything untowards. Everybody in favor?
Aye.
Did they give the murder robot a vote?
Dude, I mean,
no.
Also let's bring Devin back too, presumably.
Devin walks back in with like his like Mark II spanner. Like, it doesn't really hit like the Mark V.
Yeah, no, I'll give you guys a roleplay opportunity to bring Devin up to speed. But everybody at the table here is interested in Han being the securer of things.
I will immediately ask Devin, how many ships have you shot down?
Oh my god. Is somebody going to go get Devin?
I mean, if we're going purely based on number of humans ships killed, I think that's me. Because that was
I'm gonna Imada.
Meat, why don't you go fetch Devin and bring him back here?
Amada, dial back
I walk
your
out...
verbal aggression by 30%.
I'm like, thankfully.
I walk outside to Devin and I'm like, hey, everyone's in the conference room discussing about your girlfriend taking over the ship. You probably should go and join them.
You all see Inmada transfer about 30% of it.
Wait, Devin, what do you have to respond?
Yeah, that's a pretty important conversation I need to be part of. She's.
They seemed upset when I pointed out that, technically speaking, I have the most experience destroying human ships.
Okay.
But destroying human ships is not really it shouldn't be the governing factor of commanding a ship.
Indeed. So
well, then you should definitely get in there, seeing as how the person who's one of the people taking charge of this conversation is definitely talking about that.
Yeah, well, everyone but Khan is ignoring both robots, essentially.
Yeah. So, all right, Devin, you're now in the room while this is happening. Khan says, "Look, you know me. I'm a rather reliable man.
No, I don't know you. Han knows you. That's
She
the only
knows.
reason why I trust you.
She trusts me. She knows that I wouldn't do anything that would betray the cause. These people are all in
Are
hysterics
you
right
betraying
now.
the cause?
I'm not betraying the
Had a
cause.
secret meeting with the Rast where he negotiated to give Vice Admiral March a large sum of money. It's, you know,
To
patriotism.
To make her lay her weapons down. It's all part of the common good. Wouldn't you rather fight fewer enemies?
Yes, and we discussed those openly at the table instead of having secret meetings about them.
Nobody here wants to have a conversation with Marsh. She's a relative moderate. She cares about her people. Look, I'm not a huge fan of her politics, but if I can get her off the playing board and, in some side pocket for a prolonged period of time, what's so wrong with that?
The fact that we're in a very touchy situation with a lot of sensitive time frames and
It won't be as fun.
God damn it. There's a lot of sensitive time frames that if things don't line up nicely, we're fucked. That's why.
You're damn straight. You're damn right, Horner. You're damn right. Which is why I think it's ridiculous that everybody's taking me to task for opening negotiations with the Rasts. After all,
You're causing more delay now that we're having to have this conversation.
We wouldn't need to have this conversation if there wasn't spycraft going on behind my back.
I mean, if you had an
As
initial
opposed to
conversation,
the
this could have
spycraft
been
going up
over and done with.
your back while you're on all fours, or just,
As I have pointed out many times, the fleshy one who spies on people in the bathroom is always doing spycraft.
What? Sorry, what did Devin say?
I mean, if you're open with him to begin with, none of this would have had to take this long. We didn't have to waste time, and we'd be in better communication and have better trust with each other.
You're making good points, but I don't think that they would have agreed with my methodology here. We're looking at idealists, not pragmatists, he says, pointing directly at Commander Trent. And she says, "Excuse me. Because I have ideals and ethics does not make me unpragmatic." And then he says, "Whatever."
Unless you're trying to start a new empire by yourself, you need to have a diplomacy talk with people.
What I was trying to do. Look, you caught me. I was conversing with the Rast. Is that illegal? Do you want to court-martial me? Or are we all going to do our damn jobs?
That's ridiculous. You just can't trust you anymore, so your position of power is on thin ice.
Clearly, I should have chosen better people to support me. He says, side-eyeing Carl, and also Ritter, but mostly Carl.
I'm just gonna say, like, you hired me to keep my ears open. I heard something I didn't hear.
What? You heard something you didn't hear?
Yeah. I mean, generally speaking, you want to keep your intelligence director abreast of anything you're working on.
Ah, I see. Your ears have grown long indeed, he says. Now,
It literally doesn't make any sense.
He's
There's
being
a reason
a
I
heckin'
refer to him as the one who
racist.
spies on, or as the
Oh.
fleshy one who spies on people in the bathroom.
now, are we finished with this meeting? Can I leave?
Well, I bring up my point. My last point was our trust in you is wavering. Your position of power is kind of compromising at the moment, especially right before this before this strike happens.
What can I do to
People in
make
the room
you
feel about
trust me?
this.
What can I do to regain some of this trust that you placed in me? he says, looking at you, Devin, but also, at Trent. But specifically
look
not
at Trent.
looking at Harris.
I guess I look at Trent and be like, look, I mean, we should probably, at the very least, have on there. I, for one, feel a little unsafe with the idea that the person's supposed to pick us up after our extremely important part, without which earlier attempts have failed, is done by someone who now bears a grudge because we caught him secretly dealing with the Rast.
He says, to be honest, I agree. Khan, I'm not sure I can trust you to the extent that I had previously, which is to say, not as much as you think I did. Khan, I'm giving you an ultimatum here. You stop these negotiations with the Rast, and you solely deal with us, the people that are actually trying to help you. Me, the rest of the SCC, and the Cornucopia rebels, who, by the way, are not huge fans of Vice Admiral Marsh from what they have informed me. They're actually the ones who've informed me of her, and they've said terrible things about her. So, yeah, she probably would have articulated it a little bit better than I did just now. But anyway, I'm going to trust you to do your end of things, but I'm going to need to verify. So, the proposal from Clarice Ritter is something that I'm going to highly consider. I think I need trusted eyes on you during this mission to ensure that things go the way we've planned and not the way that you've planned behind our backs. And Khan looks hurt, but not too hurt by that comment. And he says, "All right, fine. So everybody, I take it Hans then to be my babysitter." She's like, "If you put it that way." Devin, do you have anything else to add about this, or
I mean, this does pivot on Han's cooperation.
Exactly. We should ask the woman herself, should we not?
Yeah.
She says,
I don't think
agreed.
she'd have a problem over this task.
I suppose we are to move forward then. However, before we engage the enemy, we have to make arrangements and ensure that the enemy is outside rather than within. And on that note, we shall end the session. Alright. Sorry about a rather weird session.
No, it's all good. I thought this was great.
Okay. It was like it was kind of in that awkward mode between action and planning and action again. So you got the planning session, which in hindsight I should have done more to include more people. But yes, I'm eager to hear how you guys thought of the session. So who has to go first?
I'll go.
Okay.
Yeah, honestly, it was a little unfortunate the way the session went for me, because something came up a little bit in the middle of it, and I had to step away for a second, and I came back, and I literally just couldn't keep up with anything that was going on for the rest of the session after that point. I don't know why. I literally just was like, what the fuck happened? I immediately after that I just was trying to keep up, but I just couldn't. I don't know why. I'm a little out of it today too. So anyways, yeah, but the parts at the beginning that I was actually there mentally for were fun, and
I thought I did a pretty bad job of that, actually. I was not in the right mindset.
At the beginning, I don't know, it was yeah, I don't know, I feel I feel I did very poorly today with being a player.
No.
but overall it seemed like a good session. It seemed like everybody else was having fun and everything, and everybody seemed really engaged. I don't know if that's true or not, but it seemed engaging for most people. I was just like so out of it that I just couldn't keep up with anything today. So yeah, that's all the feedback I have to give you. Unfortunately, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'm sorry. I didn't feel like I did a great job for everybody. I feel like tonight I'm gonna go ahead and criticize myself before I get on to anybody else, but I do feel like I made this into the Clarice Ritter and Carl Harris show when I should have been a little bit more, I don't know, holistic in my approach to this episode, and most of these things in particular. So let me go ahead and thank you very much, Rainbow, for your feedback. Does anybody else want to give feedback? Shin, I'm actually dying to hear your feedback because I feel like I dropped the ball on your character a lot today.
I mean, I'm in this little boat with Rainbow. I feel like I wasn't like actively trying to participate a lot today. Sort of in my head, my expectation was like you were gonna drop us into the battle today. So I came in with a different expectations.
Oh, sorry. Oh man, I'm sorry.
I mean,
Yeah, same.
that's me kind of like I made my assumption of that, and that's not particularly your fault. And that kind of threw me off in the beginning, like after like we had our like what do we do this week kind of talk. And the other fact, like I don't have a whole lot of interest in like the planning, because like I felt like we definitely got a better plan after the conversation.
Right, yeah.
But I didn't have a point where I felt like I could speak up and move it along, or like progress it and not delay it.
Yeah, no, I feel the same way. I did not include everybody at the table as well as I should have. And that is entirely my fault as a GM. I could have done a lot better to engage you, and instead I gave you very little to work with. So that's on me. Do you have anything else, I guess? What do you want to see more of?
I do appreciate you like picking up on it and making the effort afterwards. And it was brief, but it was fun. And like it does emphasize like we are in a station where it's not, oh yeah, we're in this one room. No, we're in a whole fucking kind of colony.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? And you like really open the horizon. I'm like, oh, I'm actually now thinking about this place. I'm actually like being able to visualize this place as a colony instead of the orgy room and the conference room.
Yeah, sorry, those are more or less. I mean, I only built one room, which was the orgy room, but yeah, and the entrance, I guess. So there you go. Yeah, no, I definitely should have done more to engage you, and I think in spite of the fact that everybody's kind of conscripted Han to be the watchdog in the room, I'm going to go ahead and in the next session, I'm going to allow Han to make her own decisions and not choose to go ahead with what everybody else has planned necessarily. So,
yeah, I was like, we're bringing a lot on Han not riding with the dude who was like, yes, hello,
Can we just
join
get someone else
us.
to supervise him, like Commander Trent's people? Like
You
it doesn't
could,
seem like
but
it
is
had to
that
be
it?
Han.
But
It's
is
just the
that?
person that we knew the name of?
But that isn't what
yeah,
we
somebody
said in
else
the
is going to
meeting.
go ahead and babysit her or him. But everybody at the table is no. So it's not going to end up being Han who does the babysitting, but you guys have unfurled a little bit of a counter against everybody else to an extent plot, and that will be addressed. It's just not going to be addressed exactly as was explicitly stated in the session as what might happen. I'm of course talking in circles. What I mean to say is, yes, I'm going to address the fact that I didn't give you very much to work with, and give you more to work with in the future.
I appreciate that. And for full disclosure, if like it kind of started getting the conversation of where Horner was gonna be the new captain of Hell's Heart, I was fully intending on basically having Han being either like the co-commander, if that's a thing, or a second
Do you
First
think that would be a
mates.
fun way to
Like
take
so.
your character? Because there's not a lot of trust in Khan at the moment.
No, wait, don't. If you do that, then the party will be split, though, because
Yeah.
like you can't be on the infiltration demanding the ship during the battle. That's just not.
Yeah, I know.
It would be a logistic nightmare.
It would
but
be a
it could be like a after the battle type thing.
Yeah.
But-
Maybe.
And
I thought
the
that was
where
very
are they
interesting
now?
that you guys said that.
Yeah, no, that is absolutely something that I will consider. Okay, so excellent. Thank you, Shen. I'm very sorry that I wasn't all there today and wasn't better able to facilitate fun RP for your character while I was giving everybody else crazy RP moments. So
Well, it's not entirely your fault. You had a lot of technical problems. You had a funky start. It's okay.
true. Anyway, thank you very much for bearing with me. I will endeavor to make it worthwhile. All right, I've got Rainbow, Shin, James. Feedback. What did you like? What didn't you like? And what do you want to see more of?
All right. I agree with Shin. I was expecting, or to a point, I agree with Shin. I was expecting the battle to start in this session. I was expecting the first quarter or so to be just like a rundown of the week and then the brief planning, which it was. It lasted more like a third than a quarter, but really it was a little bit. And then I was expecting the next thing to be, and now we're going on to battle, going forward to battle. And so in this case, I was thinking, once we came up with the plan, I was thinking it was going to be we were going to be ending the session around and we get into Father kind of, or we get into like Father's whole base and shut things down kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
And so
I expect that to be in the beginning of next session.
yeah, I just wasn't expecting what happened in the second half, the side negotiation portion.
Yeah.
And that is probably because I wasn't paying enough attention.
Sorry.
I overall though, everything I did in this session I liked. I felt like I had the opposite problem of Rainbow and Shin, where I did too much. I did too much as a character.
What did you
Interjected too often.
do? I think you just spoke sometimes. Like,
I felt like I was interjecting enough that it was slowing things down is the problem.
Not particularly, except for when Devin was trying to talk.
But I enjoyed this. I enjoyed everything we did in the session. And yeah, the only real dislike for the session is expectations. Is that I had the expectation coming in that there was going to be some fighting at the end, and then no fighting happened.
I probably articulated that rather poorly to everybody now that I'm thinking about it. I'm sorry.
Can I add something real quick?
Yeah.
I was
No.
sorry, my feedback was pretty shit, to be honest. 'Cause, like I said, I'm like kind of out of it and not really able to formulate coherent thoughts. But after listening to what everybody else said, like I agree that it definitely felt like we were gonna just go straight into the combat, and I would even like go further and say that it almost felt like a little unnecessary for the story to like not to like have something in between that, like the planning and the fight, like I don't know, like it was like, like we're pacing well, like there was like a kind of like the first act where we get captured, and the second act we're like, this like kind of what's happening on the ship and stuff, and then like, oh, we're like breaking into the third act where like it's the big finale with the fight and everything, and then like we just like slowed down again, like more intrigue stuff happened, and it was like kind of off-putting a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. No, I totally.
But like I said, I don't know. It could be like totally justified. I honestly wasn't able to pay enough attention to tell.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was just really an awful player tonight, so I apologize.
Don't apologize. I
Do
feel
you
like
mind if I go next?
Go ahead.
Yes, by all means. Or no, I do not.
All right. So yeah, I'm kind of gonna agree with what's been said about 5 times in a row now. it felt like pacing-wise, we were like, let's go to the Battle of Victus Station. I feel like I remember you ending the last session with, and up next, the Battle of Victus Station. So I was kind of expecting that going in. On the other hand, I really enjoyed this session. I can't be like, oh darn this session for existing, because I liked it. But at the same time, I feel like pacing-wise and keeping the sort of energy up-wise, it wasn't super necessary.
Okay. Yeah, no, you're right. I dropped the ball in the pacing. By the way, if it's not clear, up next, at the station, the actual battle, there will be conflict next session.
I'll believe it when I see it. Just like you said, this was gonna last 3 episodes.
This time I mean it. Sorry.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, I just want to say I didn't mind this session existing. I just felt like it was unexpected, and I feel like the biggest failing of this campaign, which I really liked, so this is just the thing I disliked the most, was you would have really high energy sessions and be ready with like momentum to go into the next thing, and then the next thing would just be like, and intermediary section. I feel like you kept syncopating the pace.
Syncopacing, if you will.
I'm kind of foiled, I must say,
I
by my own convention here of making space travel realistically long, and I am giving you guys these like week-long breaks between sessions, which do result in developments.
I feel like if you had week-long breaks between sessions, if this restricted it to like, okay, what do you do during that week? 2 minutes would have been fine. And like, I feel like they didn't need to have a whole session result from each one of the week-long breaks.
Yeah, I think you're right. And
I also enjoyed the vast majority of the sessions in this game, so I can't be like, I want some of the sessions to have gone away. I just think the overall flow and narrative could have been suited by a bit of trimming.
Yeah.
That being said, things about this session in particular, other than its general existence, yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a bit much to keep track of, with all the various plots going on, but I found it pretty interesting. Yeah, I do feel like it was a little bit of a me and Madeline heavy session, which I can't. It's like a mixed bag for me. On one hand, I like doing lots of stuff. That's fun. On the other hand, I feel inherently guilty when I do lots of stuff.
Fair enough.
I really enjoyed essentially pulling the same move I did again, where I go up to the person and be like, I got some spying stuff for you, and then doing the spying stuff. I really liked actually spying. Like, I realized it's something I haven't done nearly as much in tabletop games as I would have liked to, where I actually am at an event and trying to covertly get information. Like, I love that sort of thing. Just keeping it low key.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably about it.
All right, and what do you want to see more of?
From this campaign, honestly, I just want to get to Ichthus Station, have that battle, see how that goes down.
Yeah. There's only going to be at most 2 more episodes after this, so.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of...
in a month when we're finally reaching the end of the Battle of Ichthus Station.
God, I hate
I mean, in general, I would love to see more, eavesdropping moments. I
can't say there will be very many more in this.
But, going to an event and, trying to covertly do things.
Yeah.
I love that sort of thing, but probably not from this campaign.
Yeah, no, this campaign's all war from now on. Sorry.
Okay, so what I'm getting here is, in the future, there was only war.
Yeah. No, I really don't know what the future of this is. And it's kind of peaceful.
But does it change? That's the real question.
The answer
Well,
is
according
yes.
to
Much like the
pop-up I
stars.
got DE4 the other day, war has changed. Hungary told me that, and I was like, fuck off.
Wow, all right. So, feedback,
Max,
please.
I thought
What
war
did you
never
like,
changes.
and what do you want to see more of?
What did I like? I liked this fucking map with the cute little overlay tokens. I think it really helped facilitate our understanding of the location. I'd seen the maps, but seeing this gave me a different feel for it. It was good. It was easy to display where everyone was. It solves the dungeon scrawl problem where the dungeon scrawl maps don't really they don't have the automatic distinction that the different rooms here do.
Yeah, definitely need to go forward on that a lot more.
I think this is stronger than dungeon scrawl for large maps. Not to put more work on your plate, but I definitely think it could be a great way to display high administration.
Yeah, this did not actually take all that much work. So, yeah.
It's not Ithaca.
Ithaca is a place in New York. This is like
Ichthys,
a
right?
reference
And
to
Greece.
Jesus and fish
Yeah.
all at once.
And fish.
Ichthys, right?
Ichthys!
No, Ictus.
Ichthys.
Yeah, there's no.
2 syllables.
Why am I trying to be inventive?
Imagine Mike Tyson looking at something and someone's like, "You want some of this?" And he's like, "Ick this."
Why Mike Tyson specifically? What?
Because of
I don't know.
Oh, because of his like.
mode of speech, indeed. I know what you mean. Okay, yeah, I like. So I liked it. Thought it was good. I felt like weird because like Inmata wasn't the right person to do it, but at the same time, there were a lot of elements that were going on here with Commander Trent, which are like, oh, very interesting ideals you have there, Thren. We can't have someone covertly communicate with an alien race to, using the primary mode of their culture, reduce the amount of violent conflict we are about to enter. That would be bad, because we don't like the species you're doing it with.
There's
like-
a lot of valid points to be made she
Like,
should maybe
they
consider what's
they
going
don't
on
like the
there.
Rast.
Or-
They don't want him to communicate with the Rast. He wasn't dumb. He knew he couldn't do this openly, and he didn't have a reason to alienate them by doing it secretly if he thought he could. But he didn't, because ultimately, like, they don't trust each other for good reason, but, like, I did feel like I liked it. It was an engaging conflict. It's mostly just the forever DM stroke being an NPC issue where I also felt like I interjected too much for my character's role in all this. But, like, I don't think
I
that's...
thought your bingo thing was really clever. I thought it was funny.
Thank you. Because at this point I was like, Con, what the fuck are you expecting to hide? Like, Carl has just spilled the beans. We know what's happening.
Venus.
Carl mashed effects. Carl marched effects. But yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought she did a good job. And my least favorite part was, I mean, like, I don't know. I guess that I didn't see this coming as well in terms of pacing because, like, I knew. A long time ago, I saw that there was this entry map, which is gorgeous. By the way, I will show the stream again. Like, there's this map, there's this stuff going on. You were like, oh yeah, well, she was like a new near Roanoke, and that'll be part of converting people. And so I always knew the trip to NNR was going to be part of the plot, and I thought of it in that fashion. And I think that this just goes to speak to the fact that we should probably workshop the flow and think about pacing a little bit more, because I don't think that the trip to New Near Roanoke needed to feel like a speed bump, and I didn't think it felt like a speed bump, but I think that both you and I were off base, and then you were plagued by tech issues, so it didn't really like go over great. But the reality is, like, there's no universe where we were going to be ready for the Battle of Ithaca Station this week, you know?
Ichthys. Not.
Why is there a Y in it? Why is there a fucking Y in it?
Okay. It's the this Y. It's just Y with an I. You spell things with Y's instead of I's all the time. Like, we're not allowed to get upset about this. Ichthyology is even like.
Oh my
you
god,
use
whatever.
a Y there.
Okay, let's get on with it. Lee, what do you want to see more of?
I want to see more change stars, and I want to see more of this group, and I want to see more combat for, no particular reason.
For me, right?
Yes.
Amazing, excellent.
But yeah, and also it's good game. I want to see more of it. I want to see the action-packed finale.
Yes, it is coming. Absolutely. This time I'm not bullshitting. All right, Madeline, what did you like? What didn't you like? What do you see more of? What do you want to see?
Okay. So I wasn't expecting us to get to this station this time because I think, like, yeah, the space battle planning. But on the other, I don't think anything that happened this session needed to happen. Like, even the planning for the space battle, honestly, that really confused me in character because it's like, why are we involved in planning the space battle? Why would they trust us to do that? Why is that our jobs? Like, it felt like a disconnect between what would happen in the world and, like, letting us be involved because it's more interesting as players. So that felt a little weird. Yeah. And I'm still confused, like, in terms of what we're seeing more of. Like, I'm totally down with the, like, going through, like, the station, turning out the stuff, but then, like, how are we doing the space battle afterwards if we are, like, space battle aren't dynamic in this system? So I'm worried that it's supposed to be that it's very cool and then it's going to be not super cool.
It's gonna be narrative.
Yeah, like the idea is that
So
we are
it's
not going
like
to.
yeah.
This was the space battle, Madeline.
Right.
Which is
You helping plan the space battle means I don't have to do a whole bunch of really boring roles, but that nobody really cares about later on. You guys know what's gonna happen.
Is this the same twist from Ender's Game where they're like, oh, I won the simulation space battle? No, you won the real space battle.
Yeah, no, it's like that, but somehow less dickish. Somehow.
Wow, less dickish than Ender's Game? I can't imagine such a thing.
But yeah.
Zooms in really close on the Hell's Heart.
Yeah, I do feel like we
But
might
yeah,
be...
like, I guess I had fun and I liked the side stuff, but I guess I felt like, yeah, if New Roanoke had to be a place that we visited, which it was established very early on, like, there needed to be a reason, like, there had to be something more than just planning the war, and I don't think that was presented very well. Like, Devon Water Knockjack people seemed like a random side thing you threw in at the last minute. Not like there was something we had to get about the people here or something.
Mm-hmm. No, totally. And this actually, I must say, is an example of me sticking to my original plans for the game that did not actually need, like, I had a plan going into this that a lot of the conversion stuff that actually happened on the Hell's Heart would happen here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not how it panned out. I still had to get you to New Roanoke because I established that's where you were going, and it wouldn't make any sense for you guys to switch over at the last minute. And, it was always the plan that the fleet would converge here, and, everybody would take account for, losses and assets and stuff, and consolidate and plan and make sure that everything was going to go right, and then the action would take place. So that was all originally planned, but a lot of the conversion-y stuff actually happened on the ship, which, in hindsight would have been smarter for me to plan for in the beginning, and I wouldn't have even had to take it to New Roanoke, because nobody's surprised that New Roanoke still exists. Like, that was kind of a non-spoiler or non-surprise. Like, I had maybe not the best idea going into it, and maybe this is perhaps the episode that shows kind of that my idea was not the best from the beginning, and that funner things happened on the way.
Yeah, I mean, I think it ended up a lot of it, but yeah, I'd say for your original concept, probably just a firmer hand in character selection. Like, you can't let us play super cynical intelligence people if you want us to be genuinely surprised by the human empire's successes.
I mean,
but, like, I really love our characters. We've had a lot of fun, like, being these, intelligent traitors.
Yeah, no, I think that everything's kind of worked out nicely. I'm sorry that this session was kind of a bummer compared to everything else, especially considering how hyped I was about it. Yeah, no, I mean, I guess in a certain sense, this session had to happen one way or another, but I could have handled it a lot better. And I could have made it a lot briefer, probably, considering the way that the campaign had developed. So, yes. Excellent. I love having all of you on. I love each and every one of you as players, and I'm sorry maybe that this was not the funnest of sessions, but I have high hopes for the future to be a lot more fun and engaging, and, while there will be plenty of RP, it's going to be a lot more combat heavy as well. So hopefully that speeds things up.
My nemesis.
Now we're going to Ichthus Station.
Pat,
everybody pack your bag.
Is there anybody else left to go?
No.
Okay, because we've dropped off very heavily. Everybody still here, the Discord. Come by. There's a channel for your feedback or rating roll the roll.
All right. Peace.
Night.
There are only 5
Good night.
people currently in the stream, and I'm pretty sure that's us. So
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it's literally just us. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No, that's fine.
no, that's fine.
Part of the reason I didn't take that long,